Oh, do you know what? I've just remembered. I've just realised. Last stream, we never launched the game with Umod. So, I kind of ballsed that up. And we never had any mods, did we? I'll put it on for this stream, though. We'll change the face cam today as well. What do we want to change it to? Yeah, hello, everybody. We're about a quarter of an hour early. But, I'm sort of at a loose end. So, I figured, why not get the stream underway? Since we keep going quite late on the streams anyway. So I'm rolling through the fan cams again. Remember, any of you can paint a potato, submit it, and I will adore you, and we will have it on stream. We will happily feature it. So here's another one. Yeah, I've had a pretty productive day. I keep sitting down to do episodes of the LP and be like, oh, this one's easy. It doesn't take long. It's just a simple thing, but they end up really long. Got another one well over an hour. It's an hour and a half long video that's coming up very, very soon. And why? Because it's where we go back to Ascalon. And we go, I mean, they literally have that quest, go to the most remote corner of Ascalon you possibly can ask. So it's a huge adventure through Iron Marches, the Fields of Ruin, and then the quest itself. And it just took ages. But we see about 1 million awesome things along the way. I could have just sped the whole thing up, but I couldn't help it, man. There's too many cool things in the game. There's fixing that tank up with the hidden warband thing where you get the bandana. Oh, there's so much. There's loads. So, yeah, I did that. I did some other little things which have been nagging me for ages. Like one of the scripts I use has a bind set up which crashes my renders if I press the wrong key on the keyboard. So I fixed that for the first time in a few weeks. I got some other little things set up in preparation for this skill pin delivery, which I hope to get very soon. And we can figure out how the hell I'm going to record that. And I'm really excited. So set some of that up, and now basically I'm just sitting here with an icy cold glass of water. It's hot again now. It's really hot again, but it's like sharp hot. It's really like stinging heat. So yeah, I'm gonna have to have the fan on today's stream as well. Sorry, I saw a couple of people on Wood Potatoes 2 point out that on some of these VODs it gets a bit, you can hear like a thumping noise going on in the mic. I will try and make sure that doesn't happen, but that I can still get to, you know, not sweat like a wildebeest. So yeah. I guess the only other really interesting thing that happened with me today is there's an LPR I watch who has spent years, he's almost been on the channel. You know, I'm coming up to my 8th anniversary, really. When November rolls around, I will have been doing this for 8 years. He's been doing it 7 years. He's been anonymous the entire time, and he did a face reveal. And it was really interesting to see sort of how he decided to go, because I don't think about face reveal. I don't care. I'm very happy with the way I do things. It's never on my mind, but it is interesting when I see someone else in a very similar boat to me do something like that, and how things went for him and what led him to it. It was quite a sad, conflicted video, to be honest. It seemed like I don't know, it seemed like he didn't really know where he was going, and he was almost a bit upset with a lot of stuff. It was like a 50-minute production where he talked about all manner of different things, and it was a weird one, because it was like, he's like me, but 5 years ago, because he's always been very hobbyist about it. So, like, the things he thinks about and is contemplating, it's like, yeah, I've been there, done that a long time ago, but it was cool, and it was interesting to see. But yeah, so I just finished that video, and I was like, let's stream. Let's do a stream, shall we? We're going to play some Guild Wars 1. And yeah, today we're going to become Wayno Sue. We're not going to talk about hurricanes and Hitler and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to talk about Guild Wars 2. Some people in Discord trying to get me to do a Corteria rant, and I'm not a performing monkey. I'm not interested in that. We're going to play Guild Wars 1, and we're going to vibe on the beautiful atmosphere and fun stuff there. Oh, yes. Yeah. Beautiful. Benji's already found it. Hype. Okay, and in chat, yeah, here was the other thing I did today. Set up some emotes. So, massive props and shout outs to 2 different people. First of all, a donator from yesterday who was, as far as I can tell, at the end of the stream, and I didn't see, and I feel like a piece of crap, and I'm really sorry, but Cryptid Wendigo gave me a tenner. Thank you so much, and simply said, thank you for all you do, ! And that was very sweet and wonderful and lovely of them, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. That was very nice, and I really apologize that I missed that. But also, massive shout out and kudos and awesome stuff for all of you to Ikoh, I-K-O-H, 0-O-H, yeah, on Discord, who made you all an emote. I do have a spare emote slot. I didn't realize I had an emote slot, but I do. They made you guys an emote. Check it out. Type Tato Turtle in chat. I hooked it up. They did the art. It was on stream yesterday, I think. But it is the turtle. So everyone who renamed, we had a stream. The story here is we had a stream a while ago, and for some ungodly reason, I don't know why, we were talking about, we had lots of turtles in chat, and I said if we get more turtles, I'll give you a turtle emote. And they made it. They made it. So you got it now, and it looks pretty cool. It's even pretty close in art style to Welk's old work. If you guys, so the people in Wooden Potatoes 2 and stuff can see, if you put the emotes next to one another, you'll see that, like, they did very good at emulating that old style. It seems to fit in next to Welk's work, and that's great, you know? So, It's not. I think it's supposed to be a potato that is also a Koopa, that is also a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I don't know. It's a mix of lots of different things, and it's very pretty and it's wonderful. So there you go. Then also I did a little bit of emote work, having been inspired by that. We're seeing if we can maybe get a Kappa, by the way, but we'll see. I did a little bit of emote work. I changed the Feels Bad Man emote, which is Scourge Enchantments from Guild Wars 1. It's now called Somber, and if you look, what I did was I cropped it, essentially, and it's much better the face now. So if you put the emote for Angadoran's Gaze, which is Tato Watt, I think, and if you do it next to, yeah, there you go, the new Feels Bad Man. It's called Somber because I had to rename it because Feels Bad Man was already in use because I just deleted the old one. But now the face is a bit bigger, so it's a better emote now, I think. I don't know. I'm not very good at this stuff. I don't know what all the little boys and girls like in Twitch chat, but I think that's all right. So, yeah, there you go. Reg put them together just like that. So that's perfect. Now, speaking of Reg, okay, and speaking of the people who go to Tier 2 and T3 subs, I didn't know this, but apparently I do have slots for even more emotes, special emotes that only T2 and T3 people could use, in theory. Now, I don't have those set up or any idea of what those are. But yeah, there's like extra emotes. If you're a T2 sub, you can get 2 more. And I can build those for you. I don't know what people would want, though. And I don't have any art or anything. It could be more Guild Wars 1 icons. If there's, like, Guild Wars 1 icons people like. So if you are a T2 or a T3 sub, let me know. You're a dime a dozen. There's very few of you out there. Wait, dime a dozen means there's loads, doesn't it? Anyway, listen, there's very few of you out there. So you can be in a really special, exclusive little club if you want. And I'll give you an emote. As long as it's not like a willy or something that will get me banned. I'm well up for it. It's not a problem. You liked his ridiculously long neck? Well, that's cool, but people didn't really use that emote very much. I thought it was a good one, but people didn't really use it very much, so I cropped it down so that you can actually see the face now. Kuro can make good emotes. Well, I mean, if Kuro wants to make more... The thing is, I don't know... Has Kuro ever made one? I thought Kuro is who you guys were asking me to ask before. But I didn't... Listen, I feel very weird about all this. I can't really pay people. I can't really quality control and all that kind of stuff. So if someone just dumps an emote on my front door, I'll say, cool, I'll use it. If not, I'll try and figure out building it myself rather than begging. So that's how it will go. But yeah, sorry, I got distracted there. So that's it. What do you mean, speaking of me specifically, you're not a T2 sub? No, but you are a very long-term sub and a prominent contributor. God, isn't that a gross way of describing you? You're just one of those people I think of, holy shit, you know, big dicks. You're one of those, and you know, you're already double dipping my Prime sub and my Patreon. There you go. So yeah, that basic generous people is what I was thinking of, and you struck to me as a generous person right there. Yeah, so Turtle, there is a turtle icon now though, but you are not a sub, so you can do one. All right. I'm going to set up Guild Wars now. I'm going to get Umod on, and we're going to play the game. We are going to become Wayno Sue. Feel free to come and play, and we'll hopefully make it entertaining and keep it... I just seriously do want to keep it on focus about Cantha stuff, all right? Because yesterday's stream was not a good stream. So I'll see you guys soon. Alright, I just saw someone make the pun. Way no Sunday. Ooh, because it's Sunday. To the Wooden Potatoes 2 viewers, it's Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. How are we all doing? Good? We're ready for some more Guild Wars 1. And it looks like we have Ogden Stonehealer next to us already. Here we go. Let's get in game straight away. Let me figure out this party thing. I'll join Serial Experience here. The face cam is all busted, so let's fix that bad boy up. There we go. Looks so classy, this one. I mean, it's weird because there's potentially nothing classy about it at all, but it just seems so classy. All right, let's do that. Let's turn the volume down just a little bit there. Oh, we get to build a new build as well and everything now. This is going to be great. All right, you level 20 people. We don't want you necessarily. All right, so we want to be cautious of you. Yeah, let's run a mod, shall we? Let's put on... high-res skill icons. Let's put on clear skills. And then let's put on... what is it? IGMM? I think it's IGMM. Yeah, here you go. So IGMM with all of the routes and paths for us to get through the missions and things as we go forwards. They don't have one for Dragon's Throat, or they might, because Dragon's Throat is actually more of a mini-map thing. So what else we got? Little Jathorn, welcome. Bacon and Potato, welcome. Doomfi returns, and I guess Smitsky as well, who's 19. The others are 20. Now, to you people who aren't in, remember, you can totally just party up on your own and follow along with us. So, yeah, what's our situation here? Let me actually get a little bit comfy in the chair here. Drink some Coke. And, yeah, let's see what everybody says. Now, I haven't tweeted this stream or anything. It'll be a pretty chill little one. I don't know. I want to tweet about something different instead of just stream announcements. I feel like my Twitter's completely just gone off the wall the past 2 years or so. I used to use it a lot, and I was pretty good at it. But now it's just I never tweet. I never feel like anything... What's that Austin Powers thing? The details of my life are quite inconsequential. It's like I feel that way about every little thing I might possibly tweet about now. Because I was, you know, I was doing a lot of, like, countryside stuff. And I had, like, anyway. I just don't feel like there's anything great that I can tweet at the moment. So now it's just stream announcements. And now that's boring and I don't know. Anyway, what's going on? So, how's everybody doing? MMO Shards, yes, I appreciate you are Ikor, right? So, it's MMO Shards in chat that did the turtle emote. And you guys can all thank them right there in chat right now. WP slowly teaching me how Twitch works? You're damn right. I'm slowly teaching myself. Yesterday ended with Hurricane V Hitler. How could that possibly have been a bad stream? Well, I guess if I have no fear of embarrassing myself, that's fine. You had a dream where we fought Shiro IRL. It looked like the factions trailer and you didn't want to wake up. That's quite a nerdy thing to admit there. We're going to go towards the skill trailer here, but that's very cool. I too have had dreams about people that I watch way too much of on YouTube and Twitch and things. You just spend that voice just gets in your head for so long. It's a bit like, I mean, I've described this before. It's a bit like if you does anyone else get this? If you binge read a book series, you start like, your thought processes almost like narrate themselves. And I mean, you really, I'm talking, you spend like 2 weeks doing nothing but reading kind of thing. If you've ever been in that situation, it like tricks you. It does some weird stuff. You was fighting alongside a very realistic Mukapoopa butt. Yeah, the old login screen. Glad you like it. You helped WP fight Shiro for his Shiro video. Those were my second of fame. You helped WP fight Shiro for his Shiro video. Those were your seconds of fame. Hold on. Gold Armor Man, are you still in chat? Are you talking about when Heart of Thorns was coming out? They announced the rev. They were doing look how good the Heart of Thorns press stuff was. They gave individual releases for every one of the specializations. Was it when they announced the Shiro one and we were in Shiro week? So I came back to Guild Wars 1 and I did a video about Shiro and I came in game and killed it and some random pug at the outpost helped me out. Is that what happened? Is that you and you're here all this time later on the stream? I mean, I say that. To me, Heart of Thorns release and stuff is very recent memories to me, and I refuse to accept that years have passed. But that's very, very, very cool if you're here. Your exams are over, I'm glad. Some must fight, they'll always be free. I got a sub, did I? Columbina! Dude, it's good to see you. One more to half a year. Yeah, that's awesome. 5 months in a row. Very, very cool. Congratulations there. Mozzie Me got there 2 in a row. We got the Asians boy for the first time. It's great to see you, the Asians boy. I hope to see you next month. That'll be very cool. Dog, it's great to see you. 3 months in a row. WP, what is the blue crown next to some people's names? Huh? What do you mean? A blue crown next to some people's names? I might be missing something major. You wonder if WP is in-game right now. I totally am in-game right now. What is this? You returned after seeing Wood Potato's video on the graphics update. Decided to stay. I started in 2006. Really? That's awesome. Are you a stream watcher? You spent a while on FF14, but cut back on random expenses this month, and I hadn't logged in on that game for 2 months, so you got rid of the sub. And then the graphics updates brought you back to Guild Wars 1. That's awesome. That is super cool. Hey, if Bill Price and SCW and co, if they keep putting the updates out, they have a friend in me. I'm Toy Story through and through, all right? We will keep covering that stuff. I'm well up for it. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, scrolling down. Time to smoke a joint while you watch WP play. You love Sundays. Do I get in trouble with the TOS for mentioning narcotics? Disgraceful. What was the client for it? The client for what? What do you mean? Text mod? Umod? I'm running Umod. Umod is the god. Don't do text mod. That's outdated. That's old days. Bacon and potato guaranteed death. Sunskill skill. You have a Twitter-based decorate your own... Have a Twitter-based decorate your own potato competition. Yeah, I mean, if I start using the platform a bit more, I can do stuff like that. But I don't use it enough anymore, so I don't really... I used to use it so much that, like, there was a lot of momentum on it, and, like... Even really inconsequential, insignificant BS, people were, like, enthused about and interested in. And then if I did a competition in that, like, culture, it would do really well. If I randomly tweeted a competition now, I'm not sure how many people even look at my Twitter right now, so it probably wouldn't be very good. I'd have to foster that culture again, which is several months of trying to be an interesting person. And I'm not an interesting person. I just know how to talk about Corteria and act like Guild Wars 1 is still relevant in the late 2010s. Yo, WP, you said you were going to update your skills. Still going to do that. What about runes and insignias? We're going to upgrade our skills in a second. Once I get through chat here, which I will be done in a second. And then we'll do runes probably as we leave the city, something like that. Or maybe Tanakai Temple. Heart of Thorns feels comfy to think about? What do you mean comfy? Prime Twitch. Twitch Prime. Ah, it's Twitch Prime. That was meant to be a transition to advertise Twitch Prime. Oh, you mean in chat? I thought you meant in game. You had me looking in game. Oh, yeah, it's a blue. Why is it a blue crown? Yeah, sorry. They were trying to get me to shill and be good at my job. Listen, if you have Amazon Prime, which is very good on its own rights, by the way, if you have that, you can give one person on Twitch each month what's called Twitch Prime for free. It costs you absolutely nothing. It's just a couple of clicks. You do that. And I actually get something like, well, barely anything, but I get some pennies in my pocket, and you get all these flashy new emotes and fun stuff that you can spam all over Twitch and Discord. So if you want to be able to post Guild Wars 1 skill icons in other streams or in your Discords and stuff, you can do that for free. And everybody wins. There's a button on screen. You can do it literally right now. All right, cool. There you go. Damn the Moon said, I am caught up in the LP. Congrats, man. I'm really glad. I know it's been a big job for people to catch up, but it's good to see you made it. I was wearing a narcotics t-shirt yesterday, and a black man was wearing a Nirvana shirt. Should I read this out loud? Is this going to be a racist, horrible joke? I pointed to his shirt and said, nice shirt. He pointed to mine and said, nice shirt too. Ah, ha, ha, ha. And we both laughed as we walked past. And we both said, hell yeah. Okay, that's That's just like a cheesy, happy bro moment. Okay. You never know with Twitch. You never know. I know it's really bad. I just read stuff out loud before proofreading. You never know. Blue crowns in game. Yeah, the it could have been like a GM icon or something. I don't know. Something I'd forgotten. It was the Rev announcement video. That's awesome. I'm really glad. A broman. Yeah, that's a cool word for it. Right. Okay. First thing is first. We are going to Nightfall. Seriously, we're going to Alona. Yep. It's not a joke. Speak with Cormyr at Benjakin Pier. So, some lady from miles away that we don't care about wants our help. Technically, this happens afterwards in the timeline from the main story, but the devs give you access to it early in case you want to hang out with your friends of other campaigns early, which is totally fair. It's kind of the Guild Wars 1 equivalent of unlocking those initial waypoints for free-to-play characters or the existence of a surrogates, full stop. So we're going to go out and we're going to do this, and we're going to do it because the Sun Spears can teach us an ability of quite some potency that we can't get anywhere else. Now, without a high Sun Spear rank, I'm not sure it will really be very effective, but we'll see. What's the best road? Is it down there and then under the bridge? I think it is, yeah. I think we got to go this way. I think. If my memory serves me, we have to go in this direction here. Yeah, vampirism, a binding ritual. Someone just said in chat. That's exactly what we're going for. So we're going to pick that up, and then we're going to figure out our skills. You guys are going to be able to vote on some attributes. We'll set up a build for the rest of the city content, probably. So I'll stick with whatever you pick next, I will stick with for a while. The only thing I absolutely want... Well, no, I won't use vampirism if you guys don't vote on it, but I'll probably try and squeeze that in there somewhere. Vampirism is a really good burning ritual, yeah. Aside from the elites, it's very potent, very accessible, it's good. So check out, Menlo is here as well with Cormyr. I think that's probably because of the other quest, but whatever. I am Cormyr, Spear Marshal of the Sun Spears, those sworn to defend the lands of Alona. Darkness has befallen our lands. I have traveled to the Battle Isles and have now come to Cantha to search for heroes willing to fight this evil and help bring peace to the lands of Alona. So if you remember from our Nightfall streams a bit back, there was that moment where Cormyr left. She returned. There were 2 Battle Isles heroes. We could choose one of them, Acolyte Jin or Acolyte Sasuke. Well, check it out. She also recruits these guys. This is the point in the story a bit like when the Prophecies characters came to Cantha. Well, the same. It's quests like this that you can see led into the development of Guild Wars 2, because the more campaigns they added, the more of these quests they were going to be adding to crisscross and connect everything, and it just would have become unwieldy. Ahai, Mukpupat. I am Spear Marshal Cormyr, leader of the Sun Spears from the land of Alona. Our order has been entrusted with defending the 3 provinces of Alona, Istan, Corna, and Vabi, from those who would seek to bring our lands to ruin. And an evil has risen in Alona, a darkness we cannot hope to fight alone. I come here now in search of heroes who will help us battle this evil, which surely seeks to devour us all. She's actually being evasive right now, because she knows, that these are spoilers for Nightfall, but I'm going to assume you guys have all seen the previous streams, might be fully of me, but whatever. She knows at this point, she is the one, at least in part, to have caused some of this and created this devastation, and she's kind of being evasive when recruiting help from others. She can't let us know, the Canthans, that she's kind of behind it, so it's kind of interesting to read between the lines and how that's specifically worded there. We are ready. I speak of Nightfall, a darkness that threatens Alona and will envelop our lands if it is not stopped. Even now, its tendrils stretch out to bring ruin to Kaineng Center. I can sense it. If you... this is so silly and tackily done. Ah! If you are, or the caliber of hero you seek, prove it by defeating the evil here in your own home. Make haste, though. Your own lands are in great peril. Are you prepared? It's so slapped on. It's like, quick. We need to give them something to care about, so let's attack them in their home. And it's this. An equivalent quest causes an attack on Lion's Arch. And it's this shit happening over and over that makes Lion's Arch up in Central Tyria one of the most, attacked places in all of the franchise. Like, Lion's Arch has multiple attacks between the novel, between the games, during Guild Wars 2's main story, during Guild Wars 1 as well, because this kind of stuff keeps happening to it. The place is cursed. It truly is. Right, let's get our Boon of Creation up. Last time you'll see this exact build. And here you'll notice many of these things are very high levels, so it's actually quite tricky. Level 24 things. I think I'm just going to try and keep our binding rituals up as much as possible. We've still not been playing a great spirit spam build, but We can't move them easily and stuff just yet, so... Check it out, Torment Claw. It will use Torment Slash and nail me with it here. Watch it as it ricochets through the ground and comes out and it hits me. Alright, never mind. I managed to avoid it. Don't quite remember how fast it moves, honestly. Take that out. Uh-oh. Imperial Guardsman Linro is dead. It didn't fail the quest, at least. I don't think. So here I've been hit with Energy Surge, which rippled through the whole group because I walked back into us. Sorry, everybody. You miss old LA? You mean before it was flooded? Yeah, like, there's been so many versions of LA as well. Like, when you guys think old LA, what do you think? Launch Guild Wars 2 2012 Lion's Arch? That version of Lion's Arch, but while it's in a state of disrepair? Probably not current Lion's Arch, truly contemporary Lion's Arch. Do you think of flooded Lion's Arch, but nonetheless still in Guild Wars 2? You know, where it's actually the point of interest called Old Lion's Arch or whatever. Guild Wars 1 Lion's Arch. Launch Guild Wars 1 Lion's Arch. Warring Crater Lion's Arch. You know, do you know what I mean? It's like, not that there's a big difference between the last two I just talked about. Yeah, here, do you see how I just got chunked? That was this Tendril over here. I need to keep moving and hope I can stay alive. We got Seed of Life. And, oh, Patient Spirit, baby. Give it to me. Oh, what a cool heal. Nothing like that in Guild Wars 2, really. As far as I remember right now. Maybe there is. Basically, a giant, efficient heal bomb, but it's on a delay. So you have to be really preemptive with it for it to work. Winter 2007 Lion's Arch. Yeah, the various festivals. I mean, we're getting a bit silly with it now, but... Wrong skill again. So there was kind of a thing. We were talking about key bindings before, and I've just reminded myself of it. Where teams in Guild Wars 1 would often always have, like, if you were playing Heroes Ascent, for example, and I'll use Heroes Ascent as a very specific example. I presume it happened in GVGs as well, but I never played those much, so I won't say it. But at Heroes Ascent, at least it's happened. If you were having, like, a 2-monk backline, you'd always have the monks loaded last in your party. And you do that for very specific reasons of organization and clarity. Like, when you see the bottom health bars getting low, you know, shit, that's really bad. That's our defenders. We got to go line back for them and stuff. But also, if you had keybinds set up to quickly target someone, you might only have party slots 7 and 8 set up for your keybinds. And that way, if you always organized yourself to have the monks in slot 7 and 8, that was good. Or you'd always make sure to have the warrior at the top. And what would that mean? That would mean I can always easily splint a weapon an appropriate target by hitting that one key. Instead of using the mouse or pressing to scroll through all these things every time, I could just hit that one keybind and just be sure, hey, my warrior's always at the top. He's always going to want the splinter weapon, you know? There you go. 0 4 Rift remain. We have a real army here, by the way. Are these guys using Blood as power? Remember, we did unlock that, so... I think we're done, aren't we? 0 4 Rift remain. I think we're done. I think the timer is because we're finished. So, you know, that was just a fun little thing in Guild Wars 1 in terms of binding and stuff you don't really see in the later iterations of the franchise. What are we talking about in chat? It seems contrived. Tyrion Canther threatened by his minions for exactly 5 minutes it takes to convince our characters, and literally the exact same thing happens in both locations, which is questionable best. I mean, you can kind of justify it that Abaddon's deliberately attacking everyone altogether because we'll divide and conquer. You know, you can, but you're right. It's a contrivance. It's tacky. It's tacky. This is here for a mechanical thing rather than an actual story thing. That's what it is. This is an afterthought that they threw in at the last minute. And Guild Wars 1 was rife with stuff like that. And I'd critique the shit out of Guild Wars 2 for even daring to touch it. So it's only fair to point it out in Guild Wars 1 where they did similar things. Guild Wars 1's not some angel. Darkness befell the lands. You have now witnessed the darkness that threatens to destroy us all and triumphed over it. I fear that the leader of the Elonian province of Corner, Varesh... Oh, it's more interesting, by the way... One of the things happened, like when one of the Guardians of Kamali attacked during a Canthan festival, it was kind of more interesting, but we won't get into all that because the festival's not open and I don't remember the specifics anymore. But that was like a precursor before the campaign came out. I fear the leader of the Elonian province of Corner, Varesh Ossa, is responsible for this. I ask of you, come to Elona and help bring the Sun Spears to defeat her before she brings ruin down upon us all. Finish your most important task here in Cantha and return to me when you're ready. I'll then arrange travel to Elona to help. I mean, it's just wonky as all hell. One or more members of your party are not eligible to travel to Elona. You will need to remove those party members and speak to me again. Ooh. Who is the noob? The absolute noob who doesn't even own Nightfall, trying to get a piggyback into content he hasn't paid for. What a scumbag. Disgusting. Why were you in my party? You should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm kicking you from the guild if you're in it. Absolutely grotesque. Get out. Alright. In all seriousness, I'll just solo go there. We'll pick up the skill and we'll be right back. Yeah, I'm reporting that. That's dangerous behavior. How dare you not give the developers the money they deserve? That actually fascinates me. Obviously, I'm dicking about here. That fascinates me. Who is it that doesn't have it? Because that means you have a factions-only account. Doesn't it? Or you didn't do the quest. But that's incredible to me, to think that someone bought a factions-only account here. That's amazing. Truly. Honestly, I'm surprised you even have Nightfall. I thought you would have brought any factions for this new account. No, this is a fully unlocked account. The devs did an initiative to get lots of streamers and things to pick up the game and look at the game again. And so I'm going off of the back of that. It didn't cost me anything out of pocket. And besides, I've actually got... I mean, I probably should be proud of this. I've got about 6 different fully fledged accounts for this game. Just because of the way I used to farm way back in the day. Which I got them all on the cheap, to be clear. I got them for about £5-6 each. But yeah, I kind of went a bit mental with Guild Wars 1. Back in the day when I was a real nerd. In my teens. You have now witnessed the darkness. We are ready. If you have completed your business in Cantha and wish to join the Sun Spears in defense of Elona. Yeah, screw the Plague. I don't like that. Get out of here, Plague. I think we get a cutscene now, by the way. So, a little cheeky bonus.
Elona, land of the golden sun. A land of wealth and bounty. A land of heroes. A land protected by its champions, the Order of the Sun Spears.
Yeah, that was the real cost.
A shadow now falls upon this land. The shadow of an ancient and forgotten darkness. Night falls. The time of the 5 gods is at an end.
Oh, there's an amazing question in chat there. Alright, so that's actually just the starting cutscene of Elona. So let's just see here. Cormier told me to expect you, McPoop, but we Sun Spears are indeed lucky to have such great heroes to volunteer in our battle against the evil that threatens Elona. There is much that must be done to prepare you for the battle that awaits us. When you're ready, I will direct you on your way. You must be the foreign recruits Cormier told me to expect. It's good to see so many heroes from beyond these shores come into our aid. Spear Marshal Cormier is waiting for you in the plains of Jaren. You should hurry and catch up to her. She seems even more driven than normal these days and probably won't wait around long. I'm on my way. What was the decline dialogue there? Something about taking a bath. That was awesome. No one ever reads decline dialogues. With the darkness upon us, Zacian and Sun Spears must ally with each other. We cannot... So here, she went to the battle isles, remember? We cannot sacrifice our numbers and still hold Nightfall at bay in Cantha and Tyria. As a sign of our solidarity in this war, our trust in you, I offer you the opportunity to train one of my most powerful and promising acolytes. Your successes show that you are a natural leader. Consider this a great honor. The way of the Zacian is forged in combat by blood and steel. We will test you the Zacian way. When you're ready, meet us on the plains of Jaren. Right, and this is obviously the consulate docks. There's Susuke and Jin there as well, or Sasuke, however you're supposed to say his name. We got a level from that. That's brilliant. Let's bump up our spawning power. And yeah, we're at Kamadan. So that's how you get to basically the main hub of player activity. This is the Guild Wars 1 marketplace, essentially. These are players that are opening trades. This is what is currently actively being traded in Guild Wars 1. The want to buys are more interesting to me than anything else. He's buying Titan gems, tomes, lockpick stacks, creme brulees. It's cool. I mean, really, guys, this is what you will see. There's 2 districts, too. Bill Fries & Co. actually upped the number of players you find in a district with a recent patch. So, I mean, when we're in District 1 and we go to the trade chat, there's 65 here. I guess that pulls from all districts, maybe? Yeah, it does, because it lists a district, doesn't it, in the middle? District 1. I mean, it's really, really cool. You will find, if you want to be at Guild Wars 1, look at this trade chat flying here, and you want to feel like the game's still alive, this is the place to be. You see all the dots? Look at it. Don't let anyone tell you this game's dead beyond repair. It's a beautiful thing what Guild Wars 1 is right here, because, I mean, it is a shriveled little raisin compared to the mighty zucchini it once was. But it's still got enough players to feel like it's alive, right? And that's a very important distinction. When we think about the future of MMOs, why people don't brand themselves as MMOs is because it doesn't, that idea of a game feeling massively multiplayer, you don't need to be Blizzard owning World of Warcraft to give the impression your game is truly alive and give people the meaningful cooperative experiences they're looking for. You really don't. And, you know, this little raisin proves it. So, yeah, and that's why you see games, you know, more the CORPG format these days, and they just don't call themselves MMO. Monster Hunter World being a great example as well of that, actually, in the way that it handles its stuff. There you go. By the way, did you guys see the announcement Torchlight MMO? That could be an interesting successor to Guild Wars 1, which I'm kind of curious about. Right, Syria XP wants to join the quest, so let me allow him to join. We're only going to be here very briefly. I'm not interested in picking up heroes. I know that they'll be higher level than they otherwise would be because we're foreign. There's only a 4-player party limit here anyway. We're just going to go out and get to the Great Hall as fast as possible. And hopefully get a Sunspear rank. Still don't want to die. Oh no, we did die, didn't we? Didn't we die? Have we died so far? Maybe we haven't. Yeah, we have. We lost Survivor. I cared about that on the first stream. Oh well. Okay, hi Cormier. You have answered the call. The journey of life is best taken. I'm kind of skipping through, and I'm afraid to disappoint you all, but the truth is, I don't really want to do this. I want to play Cantha and factions. There you go. Koss is a large, muscular Cornan in the prime of life. He believes the Sunspears can attain anything they set their minds to. A swaggering, almost arrogant figure, Koss has used his charm, imposing physical nature, and flexible morals to build up a large network of contacts. Oh, what a man's man. Can you feel yourself tingling? Yeah, rip/deaths. Oh, good point. I'll type /deaths. Yeah, we've died 16 times now. What? These are the moments where my brain scares me. That's just like a blackout, a mental blackout for 16 deaths, and now I'm waking up on the other side like, oh, what happened? Yeah, Koss is a Sunspear. What? Yeah, he's a Cornan Sunspear, but Sunspears were multinational before Varish came along and basically tried to paint them as villains and sow discord. But yeah, no, he's Cornan. They're a Cornan Sunspear. They're a Vabian Sunspears.
Jin, Acolyte Jin.
What is it, Sosuke?
What do you think?
Of what?
That Sunspear leader, of course.
Nice moves. Has potential.
That's it?
That's enough.
Something is going on here in Alona. I can feel it in my bones. This Sunspear is going to be a big part of it.
If you say so. I am just looking for someone to learn from. It is the Zaishen way.
There's nothing about the Zaishen way that says we can't be enthusiastic about what we do.
Okay.
Field General Hayao will allow the Sunspear to train one of us. I hope I am chosen.
I hope so too.
Thank you.
Then I won't have to listen to you jabbering on.
Genuinely quite witty. She's boring. Why would I want a robot? He is cool. We're going to pick up him. Just because. Well done. Now that you've seen both of them in battle, you may choose a pupil to train in your image. Speak with me again and I'll arrange the final trial. Let's get the Ellie. The Zaishan are sworn blades of Balthazar. They're loyal to the end. And indeed, we find them in this region loyal to the end. You, in 250 years, you have selected Sasuke as your student. It is time to show your pupil the meaning of strength. Together, you must defeat one of Balthazar's Eternals. By the way, we're unlocking all these skills. They're for our heroes, which is irrelevant. So don't worry about all this stuff. Oh, I clicked away there. My bad. Together, you must defeat one of his Eternals in combat. Only through victory. Okay. We might not do that because that's quite far away. The other quest... so we have 2 primary quests now because one is for one campaign, one's for the other. We're going to go to the training area. Let me go into the Sunspear Great Hall and just see if we can already buy the thing. Basically, when we get to a certain point in the story, this Sunspear's title track should just instantly bump up. We've got 15 promotion points right now, but it should just instantly go up to like T3 or 4 or whatever the story would require because we're foreign and they don't want us to grind. And the second that does that, that will tier up the skill, Vampirism, we're going for, and then I want to leave. Oh, Serial XP. Yeah, you can enter if you're already there. There's a really cool question about the size of the city in Guild Wars 2, which I want to get to, but we'll wait till we get back to Canada to do that. So whoever asked that, don't worry. I've still got your comment on mine. You should try using this quest XP to level up heroes. Again, I don't really mind about leveling them up. So there's the Great Hall. Back to Kamadan now. Repost. Yeah, a Jules. I see your thing about the mega city. Well, I really want to talk about that because it's a brilliant topic, but we'll wait until we get back across the ocean. Let's go back through over here. We're just in a loan to get a single PvE skill, that's all. Okay, battle prep. Heroes are special individuals who train beside you. Yeah. Battle prep. Complete command training. Okay, so command training is an Istan quest. We got to go to Tactician Hajj once we have a hero in our party to begin training. I have to leave you guys. Let's get Kos because he's a god. Sure, I'll get them all just in case. We'll pick up Dunkey and Veloni. We've established a camp. Yeah, I know. Let's go. This won't take long, guys. We just got to like learn how flagging works, which I'm pretty happy with because I set all of this up. On the other... What did I bind to cancel? I bound something to it. Controls, commands, party, clear party commands. Oh, Q. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, oh my god, it's so comfortable to just flag people around. The individual flags, look at that. Look how easy that is. And then Q, just cancel them down. No UI mod here. So yeah, let me scroll down. Sorry, chat, I was accidentally scrolled up, so I couldn't quite see what was there. There are side quests that take you from in the reverse direction. Yes, there's a quest that takes you from Ilona to Cantha. In all directions, they're all like and that's like the annoying thing. All right, command training. Welcome to the fields. I need to go on the platform. So you want me to capture each area, don't you? So I will send Kos there. I will send Dankoro there. And I will send Maloney there. And look at this. Look at these strategy elements that were sneaking into some of the design that we just never got to see them play with again en masse. Look at this. It's awesome. It's so, they were really grappling with some great things. I wonder what the devs think about this now and how the inception of this kind of gameplay and experience just ended up disappearing from the franchise. I wonder what they think about that, whether they're happy. Because they got what it takes, especially with the new camera zoom out. Anyway, so they're fighting. Some of them will have to battle to contest their nodes. But they should be okay. We can even pick up Maloney's skills directly. She's going to mess those scale up, though. And until she kills them, she won't be able to fully cap. So the guy I sent to Area 1... it's because that's now capped. That was flag 1, so I could move flag 1 over there to speed it up, but I won't bother. Dankoro has to kite. Actually, so Kos, what we'll do is we'll take Kos and move him over here to help Dankoro, because Dankoro just has to run in circles for ages now. Maloney's got Area 3. I guess I can move her up as well now. Oh, sorry, wrong one. There you go. So now she should move. There we go. And the primary flag I can move there as well. It's cool. I like it. They would probably think that they could remake that for a single instance on a new story step and never return to it again. Yeah, I mean, I don't want this. That's too Guild Wars 2 focused as a discussion point, I think. But, and you notice now I got 3 pips going up. But I am dismayed to see that they constantly reinvent the wheel and then break it again. They've got such cool design that they've created since Season 2. They've got really cool formats for bosses and interactables and special action hotkeys. They can rebuild on all of that now and recombine that shit in a ton of different ways to really efficiently make new Living World stuff. Like, I hope that they keep doing more of this Aurene special action stuff, because that's like the one place where they've got it figured out. Order our hero to return to Area 1. So I will cancel all flags and then create a generic flag back at Area 1. Very well done. Talk to me if you need any more information about commanding your squad. No, I'm all good. Like, that's just a tutorial, but they could utilize that for a mission later in Nightfall. It's probably one of Nightfall's failures that it didn't do an interesting quest in, like, the Realm of Torment or something to do with that. Okay, now we go speak to First Fear Devad again. But he's not at Kamadan, and I'm scared of leaving the fields might reset progress. I'm pretty sure it won't, because it says complete already in parentheses, but I'll have a look. If ArenaNet could learn anything from this, is that dedicated tutorials are important. Actually, I disagree with that completely. I think that Guild Wars 1 was a poor tutorial, had poor tutorials too. This area we're in is kind of awful. It's like a huge fucking brick wall of 1,000 different skill types and mechanics for you to dedicate like 3 hours in, and it's all going to come tumbling out of your head straight away. I don't think ArenaNet's ever done well with tutorializing things. It's got to be a slow, steady filter throughout the game that you gradually layer the more mechanics on, and you properly force players to interact or go learn this or go home. That's what it needs to be, and it needs to be just slowly layering up, like like layers of rock, right? As we just keep building and building and building, and the more layers you add, you start to learn and love those layers. You can't just throw a fucking instance like this at people at the start and say, there you go, enjoy. It's awful. I don't think they have anything to learn about Guild Wars 1. Actually, they got a lot they could learn about Prophecies. Prophecies at a reasonable pace to a lot of its stuff. In how it slowly built up the number of players you were with, so that the visual, visually you could still see what was going on, and the Fractals do okay for that micro area of the franchise at slowly layering. Okay. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they still throw a ton of vendors and interlocking systems at you anyway when you go to that hub for the first time. Alright, back to the Great Hall. Go to Castle Anpuba. By the 5 gods. We're still not a Sunspear just yet. We'll keep going with this. Out into the plains of Jaren. If anybody wants to join with me, you can now. There you go, Olorio guns noticed. Darg says it's better than having no tutorial though. I would argue it's hardly better. And for the work it will have taken to build that tutorial, it's not worth the time that they spent making it, I don't think. It's hardly better. Honestly, it's worth almost nothing, that instance. I think. Almost nothing. I sincerely, deeply, deeply, deeply believe that. And you got to consider as well, just because it's in-game, it's not necessarily good. The way that breaks the pace and, like, instills... What a brick wall like that is going to do, it's not just that people don't have the mental aptitude to absorb it all straight away, but it's because when you're at the early stages of a game like this, you're a bit shaky on whether you really want to commit to it. You know? You're a bit, is it really for me? And a tutorial like that, just because it's in the game, it can have negative effects too. It can basically reinforce to someone, oh my god, this is not interesting to me. This is too old school. This is too much. They can be deceived by it. They can believe that it represents a ton of mechanics and things that they think are relevant, but are actually not going to be until a long time later, at which point they will have forgotten. You know, it can fatigue, and you can have people like me who are completionists, and we feel like we need to get everything so that we really get it, and we're just not comfortable with a product unless we're really, you know, quite deeply tight with it. And because it's shown us it at the start, oh, we got to spend all those hours on it. And, you know, it can have detrimental effects. And I really sincerely believe that it probably does have detrimental effects there. The reason it exists in the way it exists right now is because of heroes, and that they thought they needed to teach you everything to be able to meaningfully get hero experience. That's why I never, as much as Nightfall is the best that Guild Wars 1 has to offer, I never ask people to start. If someone says to me, hey, I want to play Guild Wars 1, I always say start with Prophecies. It's just this weird junk foodie aversion to a steady pace that gamers have these days. Oh, don't start with Prophecies. It's too slow. You want to get all the skills instantly, man. You want to get all your heroes straight away. No, shut up. You're wrong. You're wrong. They're not veteran players. Let them go at a nice, casual, smooth pace. Give them a real RPG experience. Prophecies first. No, go to the hero straight. It's honestly such terrible advice to start with Nightfall. Do Nightfall third when you've had a ton of time to get used to what all the classes are and it's not such a brick wall anymore. Do it third. It's crazy to start Nightfall, I think. And I don't have any particular metrics to back what I'm saying up, except for the fact that Nightfall didn't sell very well and had some retention issues. And I would hazard it's because it's got a really wonky start for anyone just starting in the franchise. Of course, the veterans love it and don't see the problems. But, yeah, I think it's a bad juju to start on Nightfall. You're just getting used to your one class, let alone also now find out Kos and Dunkoro and everyone else who, God forbid, might not be doubling up with you on their profession. Yeah, I'm just kind of skipping through here. Land of Heroes. Let's do it. Hopefully everyone's ready. Yeah, I can't remember what the original sentiment was that I was trying to express. I feel like I talked myself off topic. That's why POF has retention issues. It's a tribute. I know. Path of Fire is... Guild Wars 2, by moving to expansions, not campaigns, Guild Wars 2 doesn't have to deal with any of this. Guild Wars 2 can easily have one solid baseline that gradually, over 80 levels of gear progression, nice, fun, RPG enjoyment as you gain in strength and you learn what attributes are and you learn what runes are and you learn what sigils are and you learn what traits are. Nice, good, what's the word? Decades of hours? You know, tens of hours. You know, I've 60 to 70 hours of really fun leveling and just slowly getting to grips with it. A good core experience that tutorializes everything. And then the expansions can gradually layer on top. And because you're not expected to start an expansion, voila, look at that. It's amazing. Everything works. You don't have that break in the chain that Nightfall struggled with. Problem? Apparently gamers and Guild Wars 2 developers are convinced that we shouldn't care about core anymore. That we should be skipping to Heart of Thorns. No, fuck it. Give them a level 80 time. Skip them to Heart of Thorns. No, scale, or when Living World Season 1 was going on, no, fuck it. Scale everything to be, it doesn't matter what level you are. You can play Season 1. It's not going to be level 80 content. Everyone will scale up to 80. Let's invalidate the RPG aspects. We'll just make everyone 80 instantly. Let's do it. Fuck it. Go, 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 go. Everyone has to be at the newest stuff all the time, and let's let the old stuff fester. And it's weird to me because they've got the right through line for their players on a plate for them. The whole point of Guild Wars 2 was to get away from the campaign problems. And then they don't embrace the solutions they have on the plate, and they just do this weird thing where it's like, no, let's get everyone into POF straight away. It's crazy. The only thing I can imagine is they don't want... I don't know. The only thing I can imagine is they don't want people to have to wait a long time to be able to play with their veteran friends. So I, as a veteran, can say to my buddy, oh no, don't worry, you can just level instantly and you can play with me in Heart of Thorns. But surely the answer there is they're tackling it from the wrong end. Surely the answer isn't to turbocharge all your new players through everything and break the whole goddamn thing. Surely the answer is to find valid incentives to get the veterans back into earlier areas and earlier areas of the economy and other aspects of the game. That's the point, isn't it? You're supposed to be filtering your veterans backwards, not your new players forwards. But someone somewhere decided that I've got it the wrong way around, I guess. And no, it is about rushing people forwards. Sorry, you can hardly hear me, can you? There you go, I've turned it down. There you go. I've turned it down. Sorry about that. Yeah, I had it loud from earlier. I seem to have noticed that right when everyone else did, so that's good. And you know, I see other things like FF14. What is the #1 thing you guys hear about Final Fantasy 14? The #1 thing you hear about that game. That it's crap, but it gets good later. And that's a successful MMO. Everyone says that. And they're not scared to have you play through the crap stuff. I'm saying fix the craps. Like, it's not so scary to make people play. People are willing to. Do you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. So have people play it. No, it is the music volume on this stream. It is the music volume because I have it quite loud. No, look, you guys may have all your criticisms for FF14. I don't understand that product very well, but I know the #1 thing you hear about it is that it's poo to start off with, but it gets better later. And all the little boys and girls buy it anyway and pay their sub fees anyway. I'm not quite sure whether I'm really posing a very strong argument there with what I'm saying. I guess I'm just trying to articulate that it's not a huge risk to keep all areas of your game valid. Guild Wars 2 was originally designed so that it fixed the crap, so it's... Well, what... I mean, that's another amazing thing. Guild Wars 2 shouldn't be where it is, because Guild Wars 2 was all about how the game doesn't start at 80. That was the lifeblood of their philosophy, right? The game doesn't start at 80. The game is the adventure. We appreciate that progression is a fun thing to experience. Yeah, I mean, that was Guild Wars 2. To think that this game would... I mean... It's like some moron just was like, no, our bottom line isn't good enough. Enact these changes. And it happened sometime around the China release. And they've just never screwed their heads on again. It's that big business side of it that makes me sad. That fear, that cynicism that it is motivated by big business instead of good design. That's what's sort of the crunching feeling. Oh, somebody gave us Rampage's insight. Didn't you say yesterday you'd talk less about Guild Wars 2? I did, and I'm acutely aware of that, and we're not going to talk about it too much here. But I'm doing a quest. I want to talk about Cantha. I want to talk about Guild Wars 1, and that's what this stream will be. But we're actually having to play a lot more in Alona today than I thought we were going to have to. I thought I would have had my Sunspear rank now, and I'd already be done. But we actually have a lot. I think this is the big quest, though. So, yeah, we'll figure this out. I'm going to get up here and help these guys out. And because I don't, you know, I'm not in a mindset right now where I want to talk to you about a ton of Istan and stuff. And the build's no different. So, I mean, we're really just... Oh, excuse me. I'm getting hiccups from drinking while trying to talk. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm vibing off chat. Chat's bouncing back on me with it. Oh, my God. I'll get really bad hiccups. Oh, this could be bad. Must suppress... Like, I don't even really want to read the dialogue here because it's not what this stream series is supposed to be about. Can't wait to see today's episode of the LP. Any insights? What, about when it's coming or what it's about? It is one of my favorite arcs in the game. It is an arc where we think everything's going well and good and we're buzzing and we're vibing and happy about the victory at Claw Island. And we realize just how sinister and manipulative Zaitan can be. So, yeah, it's a cool... It's not too long of an episode. It's about an hour long. And then tomorrow's one is going to be a lot longer. Tomorrow's one is going to be like an hour and a half at least. We get back to the Char short stories today as well. Since you just guessed it, yes, it is. It's Shell Shock. Shell shock is the mission. I'll also say, I think I did pretty good in walking and treading the line. Like, I know the big twist of Shell Shock. I know what's going to happen in Shell Shock. And I think in my commentary, to jerk myself off here, I think I do pretty good of walking that line of acting surprised and, like, amazed at what happens versus, you know, not knowing anything, but also not hamming it up too much. So we'll see what people think. They might find it too cheesy for their taste, but according to my taste, I quite liked it. I thought it was alright. Guild Wars 1 does have a cash shop. They absolutely did Guild Wars 1 cash shop stuff. That's why we have a Ministry of Purity guard with us right now. Listen, microtransactions don't kill games. It's a very, very, very poorly reviewed aspect, I think, of contemporary gaming culture and expectations of businesses and things. There's still, like, I think it's so naive and juvenile to just say, yeah, microtransactions equals bad. Like, it doesn't work that way. There's so many different layers and interpretations and understanding of what is pay to win and what pushes a line for one person and not another. And I think that just, like, the language and understanding hasn't developed amongst gaming journalists, amongst, you know, nobody's on forums, nobody's on Twitch, such as myself. It's not there yet, but it's unfair to just, you know, bag on them. I think my opinions about it have been pretty clear. In general, I think ArenaNet are really good with the way they do it, with one major a couple of major downfalls. Probably one of my most prominent opinions came out on a stream recently, which is that I think I'm an advocate for cash shops that keep as little interaction with the game as possible. And by that, what I mean is I want as few players as possible interacting with it. I don't believe that cash shop... Guild Wars' philosophy is kind of everything for everyone sort of thing, and it loses focus on good design in its pursuit of that a lot of the time. And it does it with a cash shop too. I believe cash shops are basically should be there for whales. I like any cash shop that charges extraordinary amounts of money and gouges the hell out of its consumers. I'm a big, big, big believer in that. And instinctively, a lot of you will scratch your heads when you hear me say that, and you'll think, fuck, what? No, that's ridiculous. No, no, no. Let me be very clear. I like what Star Citizen does and stuff. Just don't have, like, highly accessible microtransactions. Never, ever, ever tailor your cash shop for that. Ever. I don't want to see highly accessible microtransactions. I want to see price gouged nonsense. I want to see ridiculously expensive whatever, whether it's cosmetic. I don't want to see any pay to win, just as Guild Wars has. That's a baseline, and that's fine. Have cosmetic-oriented stuff and perhaps to a level convenience-related stuff, but there is an argument that that's pay to win in its own way. Let's not get into that discussion there. But basically, stick with cosmetic stuff, but have it be super pricey. Like, ultra pricey. And you might think that's really weird. Why? Because then the vast majority of the consumers of the product are not touching the cash shop. It's not a big consideration for the gameplay and the flow of the game. It never really hits on the designer's mind. You have a lot of unity amongst your player base and the scope of the game as to how long things take and how people go through them. And it's just like a side project. It's a little circus for the nutters out there that have got a lot of money, right? Or the really successful CEOs and stuff that just burn cash on it in their downtime. Just do it that way. To me, that's my favorite form of microtransaction. That's the way to handle it because it allows the game to exist as a separate entity. What I don't like is gems to gold and gems to gold. I don't like in the sense that it's a really prevalent aspect, like insidious aspect of Guild Wars 2 that everyone's engaging with in some way. Or gold to gems in either direction. That's the kind of cash shop stuff I don't like, because then you really muddy the waters. And I don't like that monetization of the very game's DNA. I want the monetization to just be a branch and a decidedly optional aspect of the game. And the easiest way to have it as a branch and a decidedly optional aspect of the experience is to price gouge and make sure the only people engaging with it are very few and far between. I want 1 in 1,000 people touching that thing. And they're paying out the ass and carrying the game on their shoulders. That's a cash shop to me. And it's not the most profitable cash shop, obviously. Otherwise, all games would already treat them that way. But it is the most consumer-friendly cash shop. Bizarrely. I know that seems really reverse of what your instinct is. But to me, as far as a lover of the game, the most consumer-friendly thing for me as someone who just wants a game is to price me out of ever thinking about the cash shop. And 90% of everyone else. Price me out of it. And there's added benefits as well, because then the few people who do pay for their ridiculous ship or outfit or whatever, they are very rarely seen and they get to feel extra special for having it. And, you know, anyway. Like, an outfit doesn't have any prestige or intrigue behind it in Guild Wars 2, but imagine if outfits cost, like, 10,000 gems each. I mean, you're going to... Guild Wars 2 players will cringe and shudder and hate the sound of that, but there's no culture or baseline for it at the moment, so it would look just terrible, and you're never going to fix the situation Guild Wars 2's in. But just imagine an equivalent, a fresh start, and think about how that alters the culture and the design of a product that does that. I think you get a way healthier game at the end of it. Way healthier. I have a lot of other thoughts, but yeah. Yes, are we a good Sunspear? There you go, Sunspear Captain. Sweet. And we're at the time is nigh. We're going to rally at the fields. And we'll go on. Okay, this is it now. So I will do the Cheerio Fields one. Just because it might rank us up a tiny little bit more. And it's a bit more experience at the end of the day. We'll hit level 18 from that. And then we'll go back to the city. And we're back to Cantha. And we can stop talking about Guild Wars 2 and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. I get the feeling WP went through his Patreon money and decided he shouldn't buy more gems. No, honestly, I very, very rarely engage with gems in the game. It's not about that, really. It's not about my own finances. It's not that I feel like I sunk too much money on Guild Wars 2 or anything. I really don't. I've never regretted a purchase. Well, maybe years ago there might have been one or two. It's really not about that. I don't know if you're just saying that as a joke. I mean, I'm really saying that from the perspective of the video game. And there's just a lot of shit about... There's too many places where the lines blur in Guild Wars 2 and the game... Like, revive orbs. Like, buying armor repair. Back when armor... Let's pretend armor repair was a little bit more of a thing. Spending gems to get a TP merchant just so that you can repair your armor without having to leave the dungeon. You know, like these mini-priced convenience items. The loss of there's a reason people hate outfits are a great example as well, right? And why people jerk off about in-game rewards all the time, and why so much money is thrown towards that, because it's a bigger facet of the game now. I don't want outfits to be a bigger facet of the game. I want 15k armor to be the thing that everyone thinks about. I want obsidian armor and analogs to obsidian armor and special drops that come at the end of dungeons. I want that stuff to be the things that make you sit back and take note, not, oh, I bought Marjorie's dagger because I got some, you know. And it's not just about, it's not about the real life currency going into it at all. It's about gold to gems doing it as well, and it's the flavorless way we get a lot of that stuff. And it's not to the devs' fault. They've tried more flavorful ways of selling stuff with gems. Look at, like, the mini quests you get with the Black Lion chests and stuff. And they've tried, and they've seen that it doesn't affect the profits, so what's the point? It's just that whole mechanism of the game, I don't like it. And how prevalently it's used. It should just be as small as possible. I don't want it a consideration. It's got nothing to do with, like, money sunk in. Right, this is going to be... They're going to be talking a lot, and I'll just keep looking at chat and bouncing off chat, because, again, we don't really care about this. I only spend money on transmutation charges. I really love and need more of those. Yeah. I'm down to like 700 now, though. I've done so much transmuting through the LP. Because I will do like lots of it to figure out what I want to look like in the next set of episodes. I'm probably way too cavalier with how much I spent them, but hey. Yeah, the whole is a convenience item pay to win. Our acceleration convenience pay to win or not. I read a really interesting article about it maybe about a month or two ago. Which made a very convincing case that basically, yeah, it is still pay to win. But, you know, these are all very subjective things. All I'm saying is if you lust for that purity in your game, you should never, ever, ever be an advocate for a gem store where things are priced reasonably. Ever. I don't think. Oh, Serial XP wants to be ferried. Okay. Time is nigh. And here I take him and I unlock the outpost for him, even though he is not a high enough level. And this is how you could get to factions at a low level.
Cormier, why have you gathered your sun spears? Varish has denied your charges and banned your followers from Korna.
I feared as much. As of this moment, Varish, Ossa, and her supporters are enemies of Alona and of the Sun Spears.
Varish is warned and ready for us now. We must sail for Gandhara and confront her before it's too late.
Istani ships would be of great help.
You would plunge Alona into civil war. We have not yet exhausted diplomatic channels.
With respect, Elder, we know what we have seen with our own eyes. Varish is a danger. It is our duty as Sun Spears to defend Alona.
My Sun Spears will perform their duties with or without your aid, Elder. Will the Istani fleet support us or not?
Yes. Yes, we shall. And may the five gods preserve us all.
All right, there you go. Yes, that was in-game voice acting. That is actually how it sounds. Yes, I'm saying super milk the whales. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's 100%. And as counterintuitive as it seems, price everyone out. And here's the other very important side of it as well, by the way. Be clear with your game from the very start that that's what you intend to do. Because you might think, oh, if they charge $100 for even a single outfit, everyone's going to go mental on the forums, right? But if, as you're releasing your game, you explain that's your philosophy, listen, we want this purity, we want this clear delineation, we don't want it to touch our design in any real ways, we're going to super milk the whales. If you feel that these are prices you want to pay and you want to fund the development of the game, then go for it. There you go, this is it. But we are never going to have it be a big part of our product. Everyone will understand that. If that communication is there, everyone will understand it. And you won't have people constantly whining. People would whine in Guild Wars 2 if you sold an outfit like that. If you sell a legendary mount for 8,000 gems or whatever, people will be mad at it. But that's because there's not a culture there. There's no clarity for it. But if from the very outset you say, we are ultra milking the whales, go for it, people will be happy. And you see people get... Basically, look at how Grinding Gear Games handle PoE in terms of their microtransactions. They're somewhat of a middle ground between what I'm talking about. But even they're a big company now. They've got a lot of money. They're fine. But they still put out this persona of, oh, we these little indie people here, buy our supporters bundle, please. Yeah, you're helping to... You know, they milk that hard. So, you know, anyone else can. You just have that communication there. And people are happy to do it. Yeah, pure cosmetics. Basically what BDO did if it didn't have the pay-to-win stuff. BDO was, in so many ways, very close to being very good in terms of its business model, in terms of the boxing and everything. It was very close, but it fell on these very important parts, very specific important parts that made it just trash. And doesn't that basically sum up the last 20 years of MMO development? Okay, just wait, we can go channeling there, level 18. Now, what is our rank now? We're a captain. We're close. Oh, I kind of want the promotion points. I thought we'd be rank 6, but it's fine. Rank 5's good enough. Okay, now we can buy Vampirism and go back, and we can talk about the city. Hope devs are listening, and we get a whale mount for 100 euros. I mean, it won't happen with Guild Wars. They can't do it now. Guild Wars is too late. They didn't have that clarity. There's, you know, people have very different expectations of Guild Wars. Guild Wars is the antithesis of what I'm describing here. Nowadays. They were always pushing the line though. Damage boosts and stuff right when the game came out. Why am I struggling here? It's because I was looking for a quest icon when I'm being a moron. We just talked to this guy, the hero skills dude, and we should get it from here. Oh, they rank out at max 5. Really? Oh, okay, cool. So we get a max tier vampirism. Okay, so I just want to... Let's read this out. Here we go. This is the relevant bit. I see you have accrued 8 hero skill points. No doubt this is a result of your fine work as a Sunspear. If you like, I will gladly teach you and your heroes new skills. So his purpose is to teach heroes skills, but he also doubles as a regular vendor with a special new currency hero skill. Obviously convoluted, not very good. And then later they added the PvE skills as well to this. So there's 1 PvE skill for every profession. That is Sunspear. We are a Writ Necromancer, so we can pick up 2. First, we can look at the Writ one. Now, a PvE skill, you can only equip 3 on your bar at once. They cannot be used in PvP formats, which is an important distinction. That basically means they can be turbocharged. They scale not with attribute lines, but instead with PvE titles that you essentially grind your way through. Grind being a term there that I'm probably giving you an impression you shouldn't have. But anyway... Vampirism being one. So, we can summon here, because we're level 5 already, because we're a foreigner and it's ramped us through stuff very fast. Vampirism. Create, it's a binding ritual, create a level 14 spirit that dies after 150 seconds, so it's really long-lived, and attacks will steal health 20. So, because it's life steal, it bypasses certain defense mechanisms. Because it's life steal, I think it doesn't actually proc, what's it called? Where the hell is it? Oh, it's because I got rid of the... I'm running clear skills, so I actually have to look at the icon. Here, Painful Bond. Painful Bond procs on strike. I think because it's life steal, it might not count. It maybe does. But basically, if you look at its cooldown and its energy costs and stuff, it's a really effective binding ritual. It's just a very efficient one. And because it doesn't take attribute investment, what this essentially means is no matter what combination of anything else we use, this will be at max effectiveness. So that's really good. Spawning power will scale it and stuff as well, I think. So, yeah, let's dump it on here. That is the one aspect I'm 100% confident I want to use later in the thing. So, yeah. It doesn't end there, though. We can also get Sunspear skills for our secondaries, too. And also, because it doesn't take attribute investment, we can potentially get really potent ones of these. Sometimes the devs don't like that idea, though, that you'd have 2 super strong things with no attribute investment. So they kind of tweak it to bypass it. So look at how cleverly they've done the assassin one. Let's imagine we're assassin secondary. Listen to this. The scaling part for Sunspear is how much armor we get. But the rest of the skill is still scaling based on critical strikes for 4 seconds and 1 second for each rank of crit strikes. And you might think, oh, so I still have to use an attribute for this. But even cheekier, critical strikes is the assassin primary. Which means this isn't really very useful unless you're assassin primary and you still have to spend attribute investment. So they're kind of cheeky about that. And they've done that on a couple of different ones. I believe... No, the Mesmer one isn't. Anyway, our Necro one is extremely OP. Necrosis. It's a skill, not a spell. A skill. 5 energy, so it's piss cheap to cast. 2 second cooldown. If a foe has a Condi or a Hex, they take 90 damage. Now, that says 90 damage. This is a very rare example of a skill where the damage is not typed. So this will bypass armor. It will not be modified by, you know, ranges, elemental resistances or anything. It's just 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90 with no attribute investment. Super versatile. Incredible skill, really. And you find a lot of Necros using this and just churning this out. And we can maybe use that. This is sort of up to you guys. But yeah, so you can just see these are great all-rounder skills and we can pick tons of them up. I won't look at the others because we don't have their corresponding professions just yet. So yeah. Then also, if we actually look, we can get these skills as well. It's for our heroes, but us too. So I have 6 hero skill points left from doing these campaign missions. So we can pick up some more here. Let's look at what they've got available from Necro. We could learn Animate Shambling Horror. So this is the Alolan one. Exploit a corpse to create a shambling horror. When it dies, it comes back to life, but as a jagged horror. So double Death Nova efficacy on this. Really cool. These are regular skills now, by the way. These aren't PvE skills. They're just regular skills, except we can kind of get them for free. So just think of these as regular things. There's Parasitic Bond. I think we already have. Don't we already have Parasitic Bonds? Oh, no, we have Life Siphon. Vocal Minority, we're not going to be too interested in. Or we can steal health from lots of people in the area. And then finally, for the Writ, Spirit's Gift. For 60 seconds, whenever we create a creature, all allies near that creature gain health. And that scales on spawning power. I'd love to play a Spirit's Gift healer. That's crazy, man. So that's a Spirit Spam healer. Really, really weird. 40 health, that's not bad as long as people are near us. Empowerment, this is a great binding ritual as well. Create a spirit. All allies in range that are holding items gain further maximum health and 10 energy. So if we cast Empower, and look at how cheap Empowerment itself is. If we cast Empowerment and then we cast Mighty Was Verizon, we get plus 40 energy. That's huge, guys. We double our energy. Having 80 energy is a bit bonkers. It's like Elementalist levels of energy. Can you imagine being an Elementalist with that urn? That would be crazy. You can't. Oh, no, you can, because you could be secondary. Oh, my God. You can have, like, 200 energy as an Elementalist primary. That's mental. But, yeah, so Empowerment. I'm going to pick that up. I don't even care what you guys vote. We're going to pick up Empowerment. And let's pick up Spirit's Gift as well, because why not? What would you even do with all that energy? I don't know since the Ellie rework. Oh, well. I guess it won't be in this series. Maybe if we ever do a Prophecies one, you guys might eventually vote on that. And yeah, regardless of voting, we had 6, and we can pick up all 6 of these skills. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's pick up that for free. Definitely the Shambling Horror for free. Unholy Feast for free. And Vocal Minority. So there you go. We are now out of hero skill points. So, nice, cheap, quick. There you go. Our adventures in in Elona are done. Let's return to Cantha now. Sorry about the wait there, Master Togo. I was never abandoning you. And let's go to the skill chainer, and it's time for the straw poll, guys. Oh, it's spawning power. Mighty Was Verizon is spawning power. Well, you can find another item. Come on. There's going to be a way. Oh, I need to go to the skill trainer to learn them now. Do I? I thought it just straight up gave them to me. No, it gives me. I don't need to go to the trainer. It's a weird, convoluted mechanic, but it gives them to you. You do get them for free. You don't need to tome. I just proved that. Oh my god. Stream delay is really frustrating. But all of you people with egg on your faces, don't you dare contest my understanding. Okay, so, right. There's a ton of new skills here. Lots of sacrifice skills. Sacrifice skills I'm still quite excited about because we can dump a ton of energy into binding ritual creation and then supplement the build with cheap health sacrifices. And then, especially if we're using, like, Boon of Creation, we can top our health back up. We sacrifice... and then we cast a new binding ritual and it pulls the health back up. And then, you know, that's kind of a fun idea for a build. With only 8 slots, might be a bit tricky. I'd love a True Wars too with a full 10 slot. Imagine the combos you could do. Anyway, but like Order of Pain, we can buff people's damage, guys, at this point. We could become a weapon spamming orders user. Oh, that would be kind of cool. And just go full melee buff for people. Alright, just to be clear, if you're new to these streams, I'm going to give you a straw poll, and you're going to be able to vote on, like, a style of build. You're going to be able to vote on our attributes, and whichever attributes come at the top of the list will be our build. So, yeah, think about this. That's Blood. What else does Blood have to offer? I won't go through every single one. It's going to take so long. But hopefully some Guild Wars 1 players can sort of see here what we have. Channeling, some new skills are available. The Wailing Weapon is now here. Whenever our target ally attacks with the Wailing Weapon, they interrupt. So this is kind of like Daze, but in some ways more OP. That's kind of awesome. The spirit closest to us loses all their energy and we gain a chunk of it. Spirit Burn, hit people for lightning damage and do burning on top if they're a spirit. So we could be like that Nuka still. You know. Destruction, another new spirit is available. When destruction dies, everything in the area blows up. We never picked Ranger secondary, but I'd love to combo. If we'd gone with the Ranger combo, we could have comboed that with EOE and stuff. Could have been fun. Ancestor's Rage. This one's very, very potent. Do a ton of lightning damage. So, as opposed to Necrosis, this one is typed, but that can work to our advantage because it's lightning damage, so we can buff it with an item and stuff. Communing, lots of new skills have appeared. The dulled weapons appeared. But that's a hex for our opponents. It dulls their weapon. They can't crit anymore and do less damage. Disenchantment's here. Binding Chains is here, like an ultra snare. Vital weapon, bump our allies, max health. Shelter's available now. Shelter's a really good binding ritual. Non-spirit allies cannot lose more than 10% maximum health from a single attack. Whenever that actually procs, the Shelter takes damage and then will eventually die. Shelter is amazing as a combo with Union. We've already been using. Remember, Union shrinks the damage. So Shelter plus Union, you could have there could be a nuke coming in at us that would do a 20,000 damage. Okay, I only have 440 health. I could take 20,000 damage. Shelter reduces it to 44. Union chunks off 15 damage on top of that, dropping it all the way down to the 30s range. These two are beautiful. And then the spirits take a bit of damage and we keep going about our day. They are so, so good. Kind of like a protection monk. Really, really cool. Restoration's available now. Earthblind. I don't remember this skill. All non-spirit foes knocked down within range are knocked down for at least 3 seconds. When it happens, the spirit... Oh, yeah, I remember this. Shit. So this is a spirit. If you play a knockdown heavy comp, if, you know, all of our players here are filling themselves with knockdowns, you can proc Earthbind, and just every CC becomes super long. These are the kind of inter-skill combos. Or you can combo that with, say, Wanderlust, an elite skill we'll be looking for later. Here, Barbs is available. Again, melee buffs on curses. We got some wells we can start proccing. The Well of Wariness. Defile Flesh. Oh, man. So many skills. So many skills. Another new regular minion skill. We got a lot of minion skills now. This one being the Vampiric Horror. Whenever a Vampiric Horror we control deals damage, we gain health. So we could use the Vampiric Horror with Vampirism for kind of a flavorful combo. And just do lots of life leech. Restoration has tanked up as well. We got loads of new skills. I don't know what to say, guys. Just vote on the attributes and we'll make a fun build, okay? Signet capture as well. I'm going to buy one of these and that's going on our bar too. Just so we can get an elite skill. I'll talk about the mechanics of that when we get out. Right, I'm going to go fill out the straw pile for you all now. Man, what a game. What a game. You guys got your mouths wet, some juicy excitement. You can type in chat to convince everyone else that your idea is the best one and that they vote your way in the straw poll. So have a look at chat now and see if anyone else has got a cool idea of what they want to see, and maybe you can vote along with them if you really don't know what the hell's going on. Which attributes, as I type this in? Bloods, channeling, communing, curses, death, restoration, spawning power, and there you go. Now, remember, you're going to be able to vote on multiple boxes. So the ones you care most about, pick them. Leaving the ones out. So there you go. Good luck, guys. And now I can look at chat. My throat's a little bit sore. I talk too much lately. Grab Earthblind, so when we get Wanderlust, you can combo with it. That's a cool idea. EOE backfiring on the team. You know, if I had got Edge of Extinction... So, guys, Edge of Extinction is a nature ritual. Slightly different, but it means it affects friends and foes alike in a massive radius. They're like passives. Really cool idea of skills. Really cool. Guild Wars 2 Rangers don't know what they're missing with their crappy little spirits. But EOE means that when a character of a certain species die, all other characters of that species take a bit of damage, as long as they'd already been in combat, essentially, and their health was a bit low. So what it does is it tricks these nuke waves of death, where huge packets of species just get annihilated. And you would use that in endgame content in particular when there's tons of mobs. They all just like fall like dominoes, and you'll just see entire fields of mobs explode, except like one guy left alive, left wondering what the hell's going on because he wasn't 100% health. It's beautiful. The funny thing is, though, we're in Kaineng, which is basically full of Amphar, Jade Brotherhood, Ministry of Purity, I guess later. It's all humans, so Edge of Extinction would kill us. We'd kill our enemy, and then it would be putting the humans on the edge of extinction, and we'd get procced by it. Especially in these enormous 16-man missions, it would be dangerous. It'd be great against the Afflicted. Well, I mean, the Afflicted explode when they die as well, so you would trigger about 1 million Afflicted Soul explosions. EOE is a very trolly skill to use in factions, which is kind of funny, because I think that's when it was introduced, wasn't it? Or maybe it was a prophecy. Actually, I think it's a prophecy skill. It's a core skill. Right, so what's everyone voted on? Channeling, spawning power, communing. Every single one of these is going the same way. Oh, I typoed curses, cruises. Nobody gives a crap about the Necro stuff. Alright. I mean, I might stop putting up to chat if this goes the same way like 2 or 3 more times, because something about this just seems a bit off, doesn't it? But alright, I will adhere and see what I can build. So, let's drop our stuff down. Now, channeling won the vote again, and that's what we got the headpiece. So let's go up to rank 13, okay? So rank 12 is the normal cap, but because we have the headpiece, we're all the way up to 13. Nice, good, solid level to be at. And we've got 73 points left, because we're almost level 20, and we've got our attribute quests done. Spawning power, people also like the look of. I'll bump you up to 7 for now. And then communing, people like the look of. So we'll filter the last of our points in. Now, that's 8 overflowing. So what I'm going to do is drop that. That's 8 overflowing. That's 4 overflowing. Let's try it in the reverse direction. That's 2 overflowing. Oh, but that's spawning power low. So hold on. If I go communing 5 and spawning power up, there you go. So that's an efficient spread there. Oh, wait. What? There you go. 4 overflowing is as good as I can do. So 9, 13. So let's buy out the vendor here, since we got that money. Again, by the way, I don't want to seem like a dick that doesn't care about the money that I got donated on this, all that platinum. If I seem like less enthusiastic about it or whatever, it's because I am very much in the mindset right now that it's a very old game and everyone's got tons of money. So, but you know, I don't want to seem like I'm unappreciative. I really, really am. I hope that comes through. Right, so, sorry, we went channeling. Ancestor's Rage. For a second, nothing happens. Then it nukes everyone in the area. It's a good auto, basically. Destruction, a binding ritual. When it dies, all foes blow up for 22 damage for each second it's alive, up to a maximum of 150. It's important to note that if you're an afflicted and you see destruction, they might kill it early, so it does less damage. But it still does damage. Destruction's okay. Essence Strike. The target foe gets hit for lightning damage. If we have spirits nearby, it's also energy management. Gaze from Beyond. Target foe is struck for lightning damage. If we are in earshot of a spirit, that foe is blinded. Lamentation. It's a hex. For 18 seconds, our foe and all other foes in the area, that's really good, nearby, take health degen. When it gets applied, those foes also take 45 damage if we're in range of a spirit. That's kind of cool. Painful Bond, Spirit Boom. We already had Spirit Burn. That's the damage plus burning. You can see the theme. Spirit Siphon. Energy management, potentially. Wailing Weapon. Target ally has a weapon. And interrupts come through. Okay, so that's channeling. Spawning power. Anguish was Lingua. Hold the ashes for 40 seconds. While we hold them, our hexes cost less energy and last longer. That's interesting because we did just get a pretty cool hex. When I drop her ashes, all of our hexes are reduced in cooldown. Interesting. For 42 seconds, whenever we create a creature, up to 5 foes near the creature are struck for lightning damage. Feast of Souls. Destroy all nearby spirits. For each spirit destroyed, all party members are healed. What a nuke heal that is. That's hilarious. Ghostly Haste. For 14 seconds, spells we cast while within earshot of spirit recharge. 25% faster. Don't really care about that. That's not very good. Signet Creation. You gain 4 energy for every creature I control. And it's a signet, so it doesn't cost energy. Spirit to flesh. Target allied spirit is destroyed, and all nearby allies are healed for 156. Okay, and thirdly, we had communing. With shelter and soothing and stuff, and restoration and earthbind. Oh, displacement's here as well. Shit. But that's only our third attribute. Do you know what? I'm going to drop communing. Oh, I can't drop communing. Well, whatever. We'll do it this way. And I won't buy any new ones. We've got enough to play with here. It looks like we're going to be a nuke. I'm going to have us just a DPS character. We're going to use Vampirism as an easy access spirit to proc bonus effects from channeling. And we're going to stack up on that stuff. Now, I could use Discord in theory. What I'm thinking I want to do is proc... okay, so we'll sort by type. And we'll look for our item spells. So Cruel was Dao Shen is channeling, which we've got maxed out. So while we hold the ashes, we have 10% armor pen. And when we drop them... I mean, 10% armor pen is not that exciting. While we hold these ashes... That's restoration. This is communing. 15 armor and maximum energy. Let's go with Lingua. I don't know. It's not that potent, but we'll go with Lingua, yeah? So, while we hold our ashes, our hexes cost less energy. Oh, that's so crap, though, because we only have one hex. Lamentation. Degen on everyone, and damage on casts. Painful Bond as well, but we're not a summoner. And the other hexes are necro-oriented. Lingua's not doing enough for us. So maybe I won't have an item spell. Or should we just use... Let's use Cruel with Dao Shen, I guess. It's the 15 energy frustrates me about that. 15 energy is kind of nasty, but we'll try this out, okay? So we've got a ritual and we've got an item to proc, in theory, all of our other just stuff. So Ancestor's Rage. For a second, does nothing. Then it nukes everyone with lightning. Let's proc that. Necrosis. Maybe we can load on there just to keep slamming people. Channeled Strike. Target is struck for lightning damage. If we're holding an item, even more. Easy little combo the game taught us about early. Let's proc that. Gaze from beyond. Take lightning damage and blind if we're near a spirit. Screw that one. Target spirit is destroyed. All nearby enemies explode and do blind. I kind of like that, but Rupture Soul was annoying to use before. Spirit Boon Strike. Hit and heal our spirits. Don't care about that. Spirit Burn. Strike them for lightning damage, and if any spirits are within earshot, we burn. It's good low energy, though. Spirit Rift, I don't care about. We already saw it in the series, and it's probably going to be annoying. Target foe struck for 59, and all... No. If any spirits are within earshot... We've already got that. Destroy allied spirits for each one. We're healed. Essence Strike, maybe? Here you go. 8 energy. There you go. So basically, we just spam stuff up. And we've got enough low-cost spells for energy management here. This is a really spammy build. But this is kind of elementalist-y-ish. A bit. But this is what you guys voted for. Channeling. This is your lightning nuker. And it's more of a... It's a different flavor of Writ than we've seen in the series so far. So I'm kind of happy with it. Let's open our inventory here and salvage down everything we got from the previous episode. And let's go become Wayno Su, shall we? It's a jeweled staff I'll drop for my friends if they really want it. Get rid of these trappings. The pauldrons. This isn't all stuff from yesterday, actually. A lot of this is... The bullion, I don't know. Let's see. A lot of this is hero armor. Sorry, what's this? This item cannot be salvaged. All right. Well, oh, come on, man. The Nightfall thing's been really annoying because now we have to get rid of this. I should be equipping it onto cost, but again, I never planned to do it. Battle Commendation. Which campaign is that? I'm pretty sure it's the Imperial commendations we care about right now, so I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah, and this is all just hero stuff that they spammed us with. So let's throw this all away. And we're ready to get out. Oh, the channeling staff as well. Crap, I forgot about that. Awesome. That's for our attribute as well. So, this is a perfect staff here. It's green. Green doesn't necessarily mean amazing because you can't mod it, but it is going to be cool. This is actually from the End of Prophecies. So it's a very cool item. We do lightning damage on our autos. We get 10 energy at all times. You'll notice we're up to a total of 45 here. It gives us +5 energy while our health is healthy. We get 60 health from it, and it has a 20% chance to halve the recharge of our spells. Which isn't going to be too amazing here because most of our spells are low cooldown anyway. We're going to have casting constantly available. This is a really well-balanced Zergy spammy build. We can probably load some heavy cooldown stuff on later. We'll see how much Cruel's Dao Shen balances the whole thing. But I think in terms of a seesaw, this is a bit heavy on the light skills, but we'll see. We're just going to spam. Right. Time to get people into the quest. And move on. Can look at chat again now. Once these guys accept, I can... Once he accept... Wait. Yeah, there you go. Now I can accept people. As many level 18s as possible. Congrats on level 20 there, Smitsky. Alright, in chat. Sorry, is there something you guys really want? What elite skill are we hunting? Just whatever comes up. I think Wanderlust is the first one that will come up. Alright, and there we go. We've got Doomfire there. Okay, you guys ready? Primary quest, finding the Oracle, starting from the Shadows Passage. We have members who cannot travel there. Who? Whoever it is, sorry, but rest in peace to you. We'll fill someone else in. Is Wanderlust a channeling binding ritual? I can't remember which attribute it is, frankly. Here you go, Olorio gun. Well, congratulations, you got in. Sorry to the person who had to leave. Out we go. The 1 AoE lightning damage earn is pretty dope. Oh, I'm sure. My only thing is this binding ritual is not that low cooldown, so a lot of the extra effects we get won't be great as we walk away from it. But we'll see. Because we have to be near Van Prison to get the bonus. Oh, Wanderlust is communing apparently. Oh well. You must see the Oracle of the Mist and become Wayno Su. The Oracle can be elusive, but I imagine some of my recent students may know where to find him now. Many seek to become the Wayno Su after leaving the monastery. Ah, do they now? Keep your eyes open and your weapons at the ready, McPoop, but thugs and pickpockets have plenty of places to hide here. We've read that before. Nika was just starting at Xingji, my last year there, but I got to know her fairly well. She's an assassin with the Obsidian Flame now, and spends her time in the Buckdeck Byway, I believe. If anyone can help you find the Oracle of the Mist, she can. The only trick will be getting her to help you. She can be a bit willful, and believe me when I say you don't want to make her mad. Just tell her Master Togo sent you. So this woman is actually a descendant of Vizu, who Vizina Square was named after. She's a great hero. Oh, I like this UI. I like this here at the moment. So yeah, let's see how this feels. I flip-flopped 2 of my skills, didn't I, last time? So we pick up our item, and now let me just remember what our nukes are. That's a nuke, 114 damage I'm pretty happy with. Wait, Ancestor's Rage. Nothing happens. When it ends, foes adjacent to my ally. Ah. So I have to cast it on myself in melee for that one. Okay. How's our energy feeling here? Not good. Not good at all, actually. Because, of course, we lose a lot of energy from holding the item. Which one was my energy management? Essence Strike. So let me favor Essence Strike. Spirit Burn can go after Channel Strike. It's going to be something like that, I think. I think this one will have at the end, because I won't want to use that one so much. Keep Cruel's Dao Shen up. So what I can do is I can drop Cruel's Dao Shen and Ancestor's Rage at the same time for kind of the meaty double proc. You'll notice, by the way, it says Buckdeck Byway. You might think, oh, let's go from one of these, but I think the best way to do the quest is to walk through the Shadows Passage. Interestingly, just north of here is a really exquisite, beautiful end-game path once we beat the game. It's interesting to see how impoverished and nasty this area is right next to it. Right next to the the palace. It's also kind of cool because this is beyond where my lore series ever covered. We've now progressed beyond that, so sort of interesting, I think. So if we double cast Cruel's Dao Shen, we cast the old one, we drop the old one at our feet at the same time. So I wonder whether we're, like, here you can see why Necrosis is so strong. Even holding the ashes, Necrosis is lower energy, higher cooldown, lower cooldown, more damage. Jade Brotherhood Guild capes there as well, we want to be careful of. So yeah, there was a question. Hold on, let me check in chat here. There was a question about the size of the city I wanted to talk about. To be honest, you probably have a great appreciation for possible builds than chat collectively will have. So, well, I haven't played Guild Wars 1 for a while, so you never know. You guys might have some great ideas. Here, Ancestor of Rage should be good. We can do the combo here. No, never mind. I don't think I have a bind for item dropping. I should check. If it's Guild Wars 2, it's E for me. No, it's not E. What have I got bound to E on here? Let's see. Drop item. E is show targets. All right, let's rebind that. There you go. That'll feel natural and good to me. Go Destruction, Cool Spirit, Soul Rupture. Yeah, that's a cool nuke because you blow up, you rupture its soul doing damage, and Destruction dies, and its effect is to do damage on death, so you get the double proc. Yeah, you could do that and then drop the ashes, you know. So summon Vampirism. Remember, the caveat to Necrosis is we need a Hex or something on there. So if my team isn't casting them, or I'm not casting them, we won't get the special effect. That's why Necrosis is so good in, like, Discord way and stuff, because that's reliant on having, like, Assassin's Promise and Cripple from You Move Like a Dwarf and whatnot. That just made this a match made in heaven for Necro Maids. Or Necro Secondaries, even. Don't bother with these, because we're going through the door and it will take them off. One of the clunky little things of Guild Wars 1. There was a lot of dialogue in the game there as we walked through that. Yeah, I remember what the discussion was. I just wanted to see if chat wanted to talk about anything else in the meantime. So the discussion is how big the city will feel in Guild Wars 2. Because it probably feels pretty big. I would hope it does. We're getting really lucky with the Ritualist placements here. The Grenths for the Reaper stuff. That's awesome. It feels pretty big, right, chat? The city feels awesome. It feels huge. There's lots of verticality, lots of suggestions of places we could explore but actually can't. So there's two big reasons why the city feels big in Guild Wars 1. Number one, it is big. Big in terms of movement speed is very refined. There's very limited pace we can go at. The areas are large. The combat is difficult to avoid. You actually have to engage with mobs. These are all things that Guild Wars 2 lacks. Guild Wars 2, you can move super fast. You can move at the speed of the light, even before you account for mounts. Just in combat, you can shadow step all over the place. You can super speed yourself. You can, with very, very, very little punishment, run past. You're not going to get knocked on the floor and beat the crap beaten out of you because of Afflicted Guardsman Chew. You're going to be fine in Guild Wars 2. So it feels very big in Guild Wars 1 for all these things. But also there's the mount and verticality side of stuff. It feels big because there's a level of abstraction here, which I talked about in previous streams. There's like a house up there, but we can't walk up to that house and peer in the window. We can imagine that someone lives there, and because it's always like on the periphery, we can comfortably imagine that. That way, and when we see a bridge in the sky, and when we see people hanging their laundry and stuff, it's easy to imagine. It's easy to imagine this is a big tower with beautiful little rooms that are ambient and filled with mahogany and stuff that maybe you could walk in and bureaucrats work out. It's easy to imagine. In Guild Wars 2, all of that breaks away. There are interiors. There are mounts that mean I will literally get on my Springer and jump on that pole. I will. I'll jump on top of that pole. I will climb on every little thing. And all these little things that are easy to abstract in Guild Wars 1 will not be there in Guild Wars 2. You will be able to run past anything you like. You will, not just that, but you will sprint through areas of the city in the blink of an eye. How big will the city feel in Guild Wars 2? I have to say, and that was essentially the question, I'm 100% confident it's going to feel tiny and underwhelming and boring. No matter how big they make those maps, I cannot fathom a world in which Guild Wars 2, as its infrastructure and gameplay now stands, unless they take mounts away from us, unless they radically redefine what casual open world exploration is, The city will not live up to your expectations if you're looking for a giant living, breathing place. Here's what the question was. It was in Guild Wars 1 it feels massive, and we can only go to a little section. We can't come up to this area of the city. We can't come down to this area of the city. We can't go to this island. We can't come to all of this city. Even if Guild Wars 2 allows us to explore all of this world map art, every little bit, it still will not feel as big as the Guild Wars 1 city does. I don't believe. It will take something radical for the devs to accomplish that. And indeed, I would also hazard that if we do get every little bit of world map art, that will only serve to make the city feel small again, because again, you lose that level of abstraction and that imagination that there are areas of the city that you haven't been to. Just like I was talking about with the Black Citadel before. It will take something extreme for the devs to make it work. So I ask you guys in chat, is that important that they do something extreme to make it work? Should they? And if so, if you are in the camp and you think it's important, what can it be? The only thing I can grasp straws at is essentially the Zhangwang Skyway Undercity combo, which we'll deal with soon. The idea that there are full, imagine a Path of Fire Desolation stacked on top of Path of Fire Vabi. Imagine the two massive maps of that size and scale stacked on top of one another. If they did that for lots of areas of the city to demonstrate, you know, the various levels of poverty and blah, 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 maybe they can do it. That is something drastic enough that maybe they can work their way through it. And like, you know how in the Crown Pavilion you jump in that hole under the eagle and it takes you into a loading screen? Well, imagine the Guild Wars 2 Zhangwang Skyway. If you fall down the cracks between some of these buildings, you fall into the darkness and it loads you into a different explorable map underneath, just as we see with the Crown Pavilion and the Festival District, right? That mechanic layering the entire thing. Imagine if Verdant Brink they'd done that as the logical extension of that. And 2 maps on top, maybe even a sandwich of 3 maps, if you will. And you get the Griffin flying around and Raptor leaping from rooftop to rooftop and shimmying across people's laundry racks on the high map, and in the lower map you've got the sewage and the spelunking through rot and nastiness, and you know the rain hitting the city streets Blade Runner style and all that kind of stuff. You know, if they did that the whole way, I think they could really do something incredibly profound. But short of that, I'm not sure what ArenaNet can do for me with my confidence level, because they are just, freedom of movement is everything to that company and that game now. Everything as far as open world is concerned. They don't care about anything else. And it has come at massive cost, but they don't care. And so, why would they start with factions? I don't know. But yeah, that's a city I could get behind and maybe believe. There's one other final thing. So far, with Tyria and Ilona, they've actually lined up 1-for-1 territory, Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2. So, you know, Pike Square is exactly the same distance in Guild Wars 2 as it was from Ascalon City in Guild Wars 1. It is the exact same difference. Because of the gameplay that's layered on top, Guild Wars 2 feels much smaller. But the truth is it's not much smaller. It's the same game engine. You can see when we data mined, like, their theoretical implementation of the Delesio Seaboard, you can see they had like the Melandru Shrine there. It is 1-for-1 because it is 1-for-1, guys. They have built the Guild Wars 2 maps on a replica baseline of the Guild Wars 1 map. They have. The reason it feels small is because of the gameplay on top, because of how easily you can ignore mobs, all this shit I've said a million times just a second ago. So, understanding that, and now understanding like this creep and this loss of a big world, a feeling of a big world, one thing the devs could maybe do as well as an optional route out is when we get to Cantha across the unending ocean, this is like distant enough and separate enough world map unison wise that they could break that formula, and they could at its core no longer be 1-for-1. They could be 1-for-4. They could actually restructure the foundation of the continent at its very roots. You know, instead of doing a 1-for-1 map that they build the stuff on top of, appreciate that the Guild Wars 2 pace of exploration and whatnot is too fast now, and basically make the Guild Wars 2 Cantha proportionally the same, but 4 times bigger, in kind of a deception, if that makes sense. And I'd actually be quite happy with that as well, because if you look at the world map and the data mining, and you look at like the Dermot Priory library flora and stuff, if you actually map the Tyria maps we've got onto a real globe, this is a tiny little island, really, and it feels really big from the beautiful art and stuff and resolution of this in Guild Wars 1, but it's really not that big, so I kind of like the idea of them actually making it bigger. You might say that that's wonky and a can of worms, but it's a potential other way of wriggling out that I've thought maybe could be possible. And so yeah, that is, somebody mentioned something on the stream like way ago, I think it was a Jules, and like that thing about fundamentally breaking the scale to no longer be 1-for-1 to account for the roughly quadruple speed of freedom of movement and stuff might fix it, but it still doesn't fix things on a small scale. It still doesn't stop the fact that what they've done here is really kind of like, this feels like a city, but if you stop and scrutinize it in any way, it falls apart. And Guild Wars 2 portrays its environments much more tangibly and realistically in terms of its graphical capabilities, but also, you know, there's, as I said, there's interiors and stuff now. So even just on the small scale, I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's a real challenge to build Kaineng, a real challenge. You know, I've never really been one until we saw those vague comments from Josh Foreman that maybe there was something in it. I was never one for the conspiracy theories that we never had Cantha yet because of Asian markets and stuff. I always thought it was probably a much more realistic issue of how the fuck do you actually do this? Like, Guild Wars 1 gets away with it because it's a very simplistic art style, and they just, you know, you stop questioning this. Like, what is this we're looking at? We are a rubbish dump, right? You stop questioning it quite quickly. I wonder whether Guild Wars 2 in late 2018 can get away with that, because it's kind of reliant on a very simplistic visual structure to the game. And I would have always thought that's the biggest challenge. So there you go. There's my rant. There's my rant about reimagining Kaineng in Guild Wars 2. And it wouldn't surprise me then, you know, these Blade Runner ideas and that concept art we saw where it's all future techy and stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if they do just tunnel into that and really reimagine Kaineng, and we don't see anything that looks like this, because it's just such a weird thing to ask them to recreate, you know? Like, when you look at another game that does this kind of thing very well, I sincerely recommend you guys play it. Jet Set Radio Future, right? It has this same kind of abstract idea of what a town would look like. But, you know, that game's art style, that's a cel-shaded game. And it gets these, you know, stylistically they break things and they get away with it. I didn't speak to Nika, and I think the guys doing this quest have expected me to. So we got a bit of a walk back now. I'm so sorry, guys. Let's get going back. Because I didn't speak to Nika. I don't get to trigger the story. I was just following someone else. Every time you say Jet Set Radio Future, a fairy dies. Why? Why? I mean, it's my main point of comparison for this, because I've not played many games that go for this kind of thing. Yeah, a lot of work in Guild Wars 1 does go into perspectives. Yeah, just like we were talking about before, the village in the Jaya Bluffs, that's actually like a little mini village. That happens in Guild Wars 2 as well. In tomorrow's episode of the LP, you guys are going to see I go to a packed base. And it looks like it's quite a big base nestled into the hills with like all this scaffolding and stuff. But when you actually go there on a Springer or something and you climb up the cliffs, you'll see it's like mini. Timberline Falls does it as well, and it's not really a big base at all. They're just banking on you not being able to get up close and personal because it's up the cliffs and behind invisible barriers. Same happens in Timberline Falls. There's all these like mini little trees everywhere that from a distance look like vast pine trees, and it's playing with your perspective, and it's giving the impression that Timberline Falls is a much larger map than it is, but really they're just like these little mini trees much closer than you think. And it never used to be you could go to stuff like that, but now with mounts everywhere, you know, it's an amazing thing they did, putting mounts in Corteria the way they did. It's an amazing thing. It shows such disregard for the integrity of so much of the game. But hey, let's do it because it's fun, you know? And that's what, as a collective, those developers decided on. Picky little fuckers called Wooden Potatoes be damned. And maybe they're right to. I feel like making Kaineng super techno-inspired would be really weird since the country has been in isolation mode for a long time. Hell, humanity's only come so far in Kryta, and we have regular interactions with highly technical societies like the Asura. Well, I think a game and a fantasy setting, being an advocate essentially for insularity, is that word? You know, being insular and what you can build when you just focus and you have really high unity amongst yourself. Maybe that's a worthwhile concept. We don't have to talk about how realistic it actually is in practice in real life. I think it could be a fun twist, an interesting thing. And they could easily say, you know, there were Asura under the city that they've learned a lot from, or that the dredge that were here were actually pretty chill, or that there were ancient magics beyond that which the gods provided and the bloodstones provided, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. They can work around it. They do the same in the Straits of Devastation. There's a bunch of miniature dragons and airships battling over the water. Yeah, and they're in the sky, and you're not supposed to be able to get to them, but they are small. Exactly, yeah. You'd hate a futuristic Cantha. It'd be really quite primitive, pretty much the same as it is now. Similar. You just hate the logistics of it becoming futuristic. I would suggest that you need to splash some cold water on your face and look at the kind of things that are in Guild Wars 2's setting, especially when the Asura are concerned in Corteria now. And listen, if they can invent giant, enormous pyramids around Amnoon just because, hey, it looks cool, when that's supposed to have been very secular, cut-off society, they can do anything they like with the powerhouse nation of humans that still live separated from everyone else and have consolidated their borders and focused on inward perfection. I think that it's very, very plausible. You should just think about the essence of the thing at the end of the road. How the devs twist the lore to get to it is so irrelevant. It's so easy to do. You can make anything happen. You can justify a giant pixie Elder Dragon if you want, as long as you're excited about the idea of what a pixie Elder Dragon offers Guild Wars. In all likelihood, you don't like the idea of a pixie dragon in Guild Wars, so you don't twist the lore to it. But, you know, things are much more malleable than I think most people would candidly speculate. That's right, I'm Nika. Yeah, hi, Nika. So, my old master believes you're ready to become closer to the stars, does he? He must think you're very skilled to suggest such a thing. I'll tell you what, it has been some time since I saw the Oracle, but I believe Fishmonger Buzan in Wage and Bazaar can direct you to him. Tell Buzan that Nika sent you. He'll know what to do next. Hold on, was that entire walk irrelevant because we were just going to the marketplace? Christ! Oh my god, this stream. Yeah, let's resign and just go straight on through, guys. Plot twist, the dredge destroyed Kaineng and now it's just a big hole. I mean, yeah, I would buy that if you were excited about dredge. Oh, yeah, someone could just walk through, obviously. We can portal monkey me. I would buy it if I was excited about a ton of dredge stuff. I'm not, but if I was. Most of the sci-fi stuff comes, by the way, guys, from some concept art we saw was produced at the studio or by one of their concept artists. Let's see. Is SCX watching the stream? I haven't seen him for a bit, I don't think. If any Google food gods that are subs can find it, feel free to post a link in chat and I'll show you guys it. But there is some ArenaNet created / inspired futuristic city concept art that many have speculated is an idea. Oh, look, he cast Double Dragon on us. Hype. That's a good combo with Ancestor's Rage. Hell yeah, look at this skill. Man, the Ellie update. I'm jelly. Hello, Legendary Lynn. It's good to see you. We'll keep our eye out for any ritualist bosses. Here we go. We should be able to do a good burst here. Nice. Necrosis really should be a condition and a hex. That would be more of an appropriate like circumstance to trigger such a wildly OP and spammable thing. But it's either or. Is it this as Darg? Here we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, Darg. I think that's the one. That's concept art from ArenaNet, guys. Look at what Darg's posted there. In fact, I'm going to put this on stream because you guys really should see this. I'll show it on stream for Wooden Potatoes 2 people and everything. Shouldn't take a second. what's it called? Here we go. This is where a lot of it comes from. Now, personally, I'm not 100% sure whether I really believe that that's to do with Cantha. I'm also quite curious as to whether it was an experiment into another IP over the years that they've never told us about. Because, Christ, why would they? But I've always had some reasonable confidence that any intelligent company after releasing Guild Wars would have looked at how else they can expand their horizons. So it was either a Canthan thing and a vastly different interpretation of Cantha, or something else. But you are looking at ArenaNet there. Okay? And that's what inspires the community, and that's why these conversations come up so much. So just imagine, really, really stop and think about what a Guild Wars 2 expansion would look like with that as the city's DNA. That looks 200% like modern Hong Kong, considering Encantha in 2006 had a classic Hong Kong aesthetic. I think that'd be very believable. Well, there you have it, guys. Couldn't it have been a Utopia thing? No. It's a post-launch Guild Wars 2 thing. I can't remember the exact circumstance of how this came to the internet's attention, but it's definitely a post thing. I don't even know where the artist who did it is still at the studio. Anyone know what to do in Guild Wars 2 when I'm starting to get bored? Try another format. Pick up TPVP, go to World vs. World, try Raiden, pick up another format. There's a whole adventure to get into it, learn it. And by the time you're done and you're filled with it, there'll probably be new content and interesting things in the other ones. Some people say the water around here is polluted, but I promise the fish is still good to eat. I do not know anything about the Oracle, the Mist, that Nika could not have told you herself. We're missing a lot of cool story here, by the way, about the Oracle. He basically creates the envoys. You can try pleading your case with the Gatekeeper, Loud Cow, but he is surly and hard of hearing. Keeps people from talking their way past him, I guess. Oh, by the way, thank Nika for this next time you see her. I'm grateful that she sent you off to the Jade Brotherhood. A little bit of trivia about me. When I first ever saw Cantha gameplay, it was my older brother playing in the next mission we're at against the Celestial thing. So it was so bizarre because I was used to like pre-searing and stuff, and then I saw like all these crazy rooftops and celestial creatures I was fighting in a weird purpley pinky haze. It just seemed really crazy. And he was playing a mini monster. I remember that. That was my first ever experience of factions. I'm sure it was Daniel Dochu who did that, and he left not long ago, and his son took over. Was it Dan? That's interesting. I mean, I really think if anyone wants to dig deep into that image and see where it leads you. Am I still thinking about a video of my brother? Hey, that's really cool that you remember that. I wanted to with the Get Path of Fire competition. That was going to be my entrance to it, but we've both been really busy and doing our own separate things, and I don't know. I don't see him as much as I should. I'm sure I'm not the only one in that position where you're not seeing the people you grew up with enough. I don't know. I'd like to. I kind of want to have a special reason to do it with him now, though. Who knows? When I do the skill pin video, I mean, I have to figure stuff out, like, about filming the real world and stuff. So, who knows? Once I do that, I might just have things set up that it might be easy to get him on and do something, just anyway. It does not matter how good the map looks. If ArenaNet doesn't change their view on maps, it will be another play there, never go again. Listen, I don't think things are as bad as all that. As far as, like, look at this goddamn skill. This is so stupid. I could just... What? I'm just going to spam Necrosis. I honestly will accomplish more and contribute more. As long as other people provide the condies. What we should do is Spirit spam up and then Necrosis spam. That's what we should do. And by the way, this is Necro. Imagine if we were Necro primary. Every kill is soul reaping and baked in energy management. Like, you can't ask for more on-rails gameplay. The only downside to this is it can't really modify upwards, but it can't modify downwards either, which is what makes it reasonably good in hard mode even too. What was in the middle of saying? I forget. Oh yeah, the idea that it doesn't matter how it looks. It's not very, it's not as dire as you think it is. Listen, they had a very specific, well-executed philosophy with Heart of Thorns. People shat themselves on Reddit. They listened to them, and they built a very different version of things in Path of Fire, where you can play it once and leave. And listen, you may not like that as someone playing Guild Wars 2 long-term. I may not like that as someone playing Guild Wars 2 long-term. I want lots more reason to go back to the Path of Fire maps. They're beautiful, they're gorgeous, there's tons of detail in all the events that are out there. It's great. I'd love meaningful reason to return. However, there are a ton of other people out there who, oh, I'm going to get Path of Fire, la-di-da-di-da. About a year ago, they did that. They played it once, and they're happy, and they've gone now, and you're not going to see them for another 2 years. And I don't think it's right that that's who ArenaNet caters to as a priority, but that's who they've catered to as a priority for Path of Fire. And so, you know, those people aren't complaining right now. If they go back to a Heart of Thorns format, they'll be back whining. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that ArenaNet don't know what they're doing. It's just where's the middle ground? And that's what the question is. They can make another Heart of Thorns style expansion where we do, you know, where we get an equivalent to Tyria again. I'd be pretty happy with that. Yeah, do not go to the Undercity because it will pull us all through when we walk past it and we have to do the whole walk again. Do you think it's engine limitations that causes problems with development that may be why we don't get quite so much when it comes to X-Packs Living Season? Or do you think it's format of releases or a fallout or a combo of... I don't think it's either. I don't think we have a lack of content coming into the game. I really don't. I mean, for endgame and raiding, yeah, you can say that. For Fractals, I don't think you can say that. I don't think we have a lack of content. I think the Guild Wars doesn't make you stick to content like other MMOs does. Path of Fire has a ton in it. A ton! Huge, vast areas to travel through. That we travel through really quickly on mounts and you know, there's all that side of things that we've been talking about. It's got a ton. There's loads. The devs crank out shit tons of achievements and stuff to do in these Living World episodes that come at a reasonable pace. There's an enormous amount, just a huge, vast body of work going into Guild Wars 2. There's loads. But players don't appreciate it because they go in, they get their merit achievement, and then they never return to the Sandstorm tiles. And, they, you know, it's design. It's 100% the design of the thing that stops a lot of it being replayable. But the quantity of content... How do I describe this another way? There's a lot of content that translates into very low playtime. MMOs in general and a lot of other games are the opposite of that. They spread very little content out over very much playtime. Yeah? And by the way, what I just described there, that little setup, that's Guild Wars, a franchise. That's not Guild Wars 2. That's not Mike Z and POF. That's not Heart of Thorns. That's not Living World. That is Guild Wars. That is what it is all... That's Guild Wars 1 as well. That's what it's always, always, always wrestled with. They let you go through it quickly because they, as they put it, respect your time. And that back and forth is everything. To everything in this... And that's not an exaggeration. I mean, it really, really, really is. And their relationship with their community and their understanding that... The understanding the community has that the devs will always bow to their cries of grind is like, it's this franchise's DNA, man. You know, the build template thing, I think, is another interesting side of it. One of the things I think that would build a ton of retention in Guild Wars 2 and keep people playing, and meaningfully so, is one of the problems of Guild Wars 2 in terms of the gear treadmill philosophies right now. And that it's all about cosmetics. The problem is, once you can only build so many armor sets. You can only play Barbie so many times. You can only get legendary armor so many times. Legendary weapons so many times. You can only play Barbie so much before most reasonable people are no longer playing Barbie, okay? Because they like the way their characters look and they're not interested in their 13th. Yes, there are some losers out there that will continue doing that, and some of those losers might be like me on Twitch, right? And we have a higher chance of seeing those and interacting with those. But most reasonable people hit a point where they're happy with the way they look, and that's it. And that cripples Guild Wars 2's incentives to keep you playing and pursue new rewards. It cripples it. So one way to... That's a big problem with Guild Wars 2. So the whole build templates thing, cosmetic templates. Cosmetic loadouts that change based on region of the world you go to, stuff like that. So that there's more meaningful Barbie playing and more meaningful reason to get new skins and dyes and stuff. That would be very, very, very good. That's one of the things I see as one of the issues with Guild Wars 2, that as the years go by, we'll continue to snag it until they do cosmetic templates. Once cosmetic that are region locked and located and oriented come out, it could be so good because you can get a new expansion and people are excited to get a whole new set of legendaries and gear and things to rep in that new expansion and area. To an extent, that philosophy can come across for gear too. All right, there we go. Loud Cow. I'm sorry, if you want something, you are gonna have to speak up. I cannot make out one bit of your mumbling. If that is the loudest you can talk, maybe you ought to try hand gestures instead. If you cannot manage with hand gestures, maybe you had best run along. The celestial Kirin is a sign that you are favored by the heavens. I was told to watch for just such a sign. Let me know when you are ready, and I will take you to see the Oracle of the Mists. What do you know? We talked a ton about Guild Wars 2 today again.
I wondered when I would be seeing you. My name is Soon. I am the Oracle of the Mists.
I was sent here to...
I know why you have come here. You are not the first to seek my help. You will not be the last.
What do I...
The stars in the night sky cast their light down upon the world, making physical replicas of themselves. Kai Jundon, the Kirin, the embodiment of corruption, the being of pure good, turned to pure evil. Quan Sang, the turtle dragon, the eternal paradox, not one thing or another. A reminder that we will never fully understand the mists.
The Asura beg to disagree.
Hai Shi, the phoenix, the representation of fiery eternity, awaiting those in the underworld. And finally, the mightiest of them all, Tamu, the dragon, a constant reminder of atrocity, pain, and anguish. You must defeat the avatars of these 4 celestial bodies if you wish to become closer to the stars. Only then will you be able to see into the spirit realm and truly fight Shiro Tagachi.
But how do I...
Get to the avatars? Step through one of these portals and you shall be transported to the location you desire. Choose wisely. If you should perish while among the Celestials, I will not come help you.
I understand.
I doubt that.
One more question.
Bother me no more with this. Tangle with the stars if you must, but you will waste no more of my time.
I swear, I should get a soundboard where I can just throw the sounds out on streams, because there's so many little snippets from factions I want. What was that the gate guard did before? I can't remember. But Soon's line there, bother me no more with this. Hi, WP. Can you tell me what a good Reaper build is? Bother me no more with this. Hi, WP. Can you do a raid stream for me? Bother me no more with this. I should do that. Just to respond to people in chat like a douche. Yeah, it is a bit of a weird mission, honestly. It really, really, really is. Yeah, there you go. This is madness. Nonsense. Was that it? Was that the line? The nonsense thing? He just gets so angry so quickly. Where do I think we'll go in episode 4? Episode 4 is wide open, man. I think it could do a lot of different things. It could be really, really, really interesting to see where the devs take it. We could have a bit of a relaxed instance. I don't know. In the legendary Pokemon of Cantha. Well, we get the Signet capture and whatnot. And we can see. Well, guys, it's been 2.5 hours. So I think we're going to have to pause it there. I'm desperate for a whiz, to be honest. So, yeah, we'll be back with more factions. Oh, this has been very loud, sorry. I will be back with more factions tomorrow, literally. 24 hours from now, you'll find me here. You guys can join along. Once again, we do have a couple of new emotes I refined. The Feels Bad one, you guys can see the Somber emote. We have a Turtle one. And remember, if you are a T2 or a T3 sub, you can request a special emote just for you. Literally, I have 3 new emotes I can create, and it could be whatever you want, honestly. Unless I get... Yeah, it's something cool. It won't be anything you want. Just give me a cool idea, and then I'll try and make it happen. But yeah, so that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope we had some fun little chat about mechanics, random stuff. And I'll see about... I didn't really like this build very much, I've got to be honest. We'll do another vote very quickly and see if you guys can vote on something more interesting. If not, I'll try and just build something on my own. We'll see how it goes. There's a Necro Elite here. Well, we could get 2 Signators of Capture at once and have the famed double Elite skill. That's a fun thing. By the way, under the stream, under subscribe, there's art for emotes. Yeah, it's a whole pain in the ass doing that, man. I'm not a streamer, really. I can't be bothered to do that stuff. Without Welk helping me create art, that stuff's not going to be updated for a long time. I'm just to be perfectly blunt about it. But yeah, it's been cool. Nice to see all the repeat faces in chat, and I hope to see you tomorrow. That's about it. Have a good one, guys. Catch you next time.